And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fresh Air Podcast on a Tuesday, man. We're going to be talking about the news, guys, because we had an important debate yesterday. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
All right, we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fresh Air Podcast, man, a.k.a. we're live on a Tuesday. It's been a while since we've been live on a Tuesday. We're going to be covering the news for you guys. We're here with Haas and Andrew Wilson. I'm excited for it. Quick announcement before we get into the show, guys. Rumble.com/FreshFit, as you guys know, that is a home base for us. Also, CastleClub.tv, guys. Join up. We're almost 7,000 members strong in there, man. We do Zoom calls on there. We do Q&As. We have a bunch of different chapters where you guys can go ahead and join your local chapter and meet with like-minded guys, man. So if you don't have to deal with a lot of these weirdo, liberal, leftist people, you can get with some like-minded guys that kind of understand how the world works.
And we're doing our first meetup in September, I believe, so check it out for that soon coming as well. Should be pretty dope. All right, and then today we're going to cover a bunch of topics regarding Trump. What's his name, Durov?
You don't know?
Yeah, that's his name, Durov, right?
Real quick, before we even get into it, I'll just get a quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll get into the news. Oh, you guys got to set it up? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Cool. Go ahead.
No.
What were you going to say?
I was saying today's topics, basically.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, so we're covering Trump, his new indictment, Telegram CEO.
Pavel.
Pavlov.
Yeah,
That's his name, right?
Pavel. I think it's Pavel.
Pavel, there you go. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, though.
Fresh, man. What the fuck, bro?
You know what,
man? What the fuck, man? Yeah, guys, we're going to be covering a bunch of stuff, man. We're going to be covering Trump just got hit with a superseding indictment. We're going to talk about the Telegram CEO. We're going to talk about Andrew Tate. We're going to talk about RFK joining the campaign with Donald Trump, which that was huge as well. We're going to talk about the girl that was with this Telegram CEO. We're going to talk about Marcus Houston. We got a lot to talk about, man, so don't worry about it. Anyway, guys, real quick, I'd be naked, okay? Let's be real here. The world's getting way too soft. Everything's about sensitivity and neutrality, but real men need real solutions. That's where Naked Organs by Rumble comes in. If you've been feeling low on energy, lacking that drive, or just not performing at your best, whether it's in the gym or in life, it's time to level up. Naked Organs is pure strength in a capsule, packed with nutrient-rich bison organs, loaded with vitamin B12, vitamin D, heme iron, and C0Q10 to fuel energy, support muscle recovery, and enhance overall vitality. No additives, no preservatives, just raw natural power designed to keep you at your peak. These aren't just any bison. They're raised in rugged environments where only the toughest survive. Bison are built for strength, endurance, and resilience, delivering concentrated nutrients to boost energy, speed recovery, and keep your testosterone dialed in. And we need to back up. If you're not satisfied, send it back for a refund and a question to ask. Click the link in the bio or go to benaked.com, code FRESH, and get 15% off. Get ready to experience the power of bison for real men, by real men. Not to be confused with the final boss of Street Fighter. But yes, guys.
Bison.
If you guys want to go ahead and get that up, go check them out. Link is below. Thank you for listening to word from our sponsor. But yeah, so we got a bunch of different things that we're going to cover today.
And guests in the studio as well.
And then, can you guys introduce yourselves to the people?
We know who you are, but...
Yeah, I'm Haz Al-Din. I'm executive chairman of the American Communist Party, host of the Infrared Show.
My name is Andrew Wilson, host of the Crucible, chairman of the Fuck Communist Party. So that's you can find me over there on the Crucible.
Speaking
I
of
just
which,
like the word chairman. Chairman's such a great thing to say about it. I'm the chairman.
But yesterday, who won that debate?
Definitely me, for sure.
I mean, no questions asked. It's me.
For sure.
well, the comments were split. Obviously it was that's how you know it's a good debate when the comment section there's like a war going on in there. But I'll tell you this. So guys, quick little announcement for you guys. How's it going to actually stay in Miami a little bit longer? We're going to go ahead and have a debate for you guys on communism versus capitalism. That's it on Thursday. Okay, so it's going to be really more focused. Obviously, that debate was on morality, Christianity, Islam. We talked about communism versus capitalism a little bit, but on Thursday we're going to do the debate that's focused on capitalism versus communism. We're going to talk about the economic ramifications of both, why one might be better than other, and we're going to focus on that. We're going to come up with some questions and some time rounds, etc. Then obviously open it up for some dialogue. So it'll be a good debate. That'll be on Thursday at, was 8 p.m. work for you guys?
Yeah,
8 or 9 p.m.
That works good.
On Thursday. And then tomorrow we're going to drop the Dan Bilzerian interview for you guys. The full version is going to be on Rumble for obvious reasons, but it's going to be on YouTube and on Rumble, because we talked about certain things that will only be on Rumble. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So what else? And then I'm trying to think if
any more interviews? No, Hodge Twins already dropped, right?
Yeah, we live streamed the Hodge Twins one. Go check that one out. You guys really enjoyed that one, man. I think their interview of me is going to come out soon as well. So I did an interview with them, and then I came back the next day and I live streamed with them.
They're some laid back, cool guys.
Yeah, they're very funny.
Real talk, and they're funny, man.
Yeah, we made a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
It was a good time. So go make sure to check them out. Twins Pod is where it's at. But anyway, we'll open up with the first story. You can hit up the Trump indictment first.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. Shout out to Laura Loomer for breaking this. She's always real quick when it comes to breaking anything that deals with Trump. Jack Smith's grand jury has brought a new superseding indictment against President Donald Trump in an effort to interfere in the 2024 election. Jack Smith is trying to work around the July 1st SCOTUS ruling on presidential immunity. And I think it's very important for you guys to understand that, just to give you guys a quick little overview of his criminal case, I'm going to turn it to the panelists. Trump has been indicted in 4 different jurisdictions, okay? He got indicted in the state of New York for the business records stuff that he got convicted of for 34 counts. He got indicted in the District of Columbia, as you guys can see here federally, for these violations that you see right there, conspiracy to defraud, blah, 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 all that. Then he also got indicted in the Southern District of Florida, Miami Division it was West Palm. Either way, I think it was Miami Division for the documents case, and then he got indicted out of Georgia for the RICO case, for very similar charges to this, when they alleged that he tried to throw the election, and that's when him and all his lawyers got indicted too. Giuliani, etc. They all got indicted. So he's getting charged in 4 different jurisdictions, 2 state cases, 2 federal cases. If I'm not mistaken, the case down in Florida has pretty much been thrown out.
Yeah.
The judge said that there was no basis to appoint Jack Smith to charge him in the first place, so therefore it's unconstitutional. But you can see here Jack Smith has went ahead and filed a superseding indictment on the case in Washington, D.C., which a superseding indictment, guys, just means that they pretty much beefed up the charges or came with new charges, and now the charges that were on before, they're being either upgraded and or new charges are being added. That's a superseding indictment. So that comes in and takes over the old charge. And obviously in the United States, an indictment, guys, is a formal charge by a grand jury of your peers, where you're formally charged by the government, and this is a federal case. I've explained how the grand jury process works and how you get indicted in the United States before. If you guys really want me to explain it again, I can. But I'm going to turn it to the panels here, see what their thoughts are.
Yeah, so it's no shock to me. The Democrats will continue to throw everything they can at Trump, and anytime you look behind any of these indictments, by the way, it's always Democrats who are behind them. They're always pushed by leftists, and most of the charges are usually bullshit. Almost, I would say, every single time they're bullshit. The jury selection, everything from the jury selection, everything is hand coordinated to take Trump out of this race. Some of the most biased jurisdictions for this, all Democrat strongholds. There is no fucking way that they're going to let Trump win this election. They're just not going to do it. Democrats are never going to do it. Not in a million years. They don't want him back in there. They want Kamala Harris in there. And I think both sides do. I think the Republicans would prefer to have her in there, too. It is all out get Trump. That is what this is.
Did you hear that they cleared some bed space and space for him in Rikers in September?
Really?
Yeah, I heard.
So he's actually being sent to prison.
There's a high likelihood for the New York case where he got convicted for the false business documents.
That's scary.
They were clearing space for him at Rikers.
Well, you have to think about it. I don't want to get too paranoid and too conspiratorial, but would that really hurt him that much, or would that?
That's a good question.
Because here's the thing: Trump right now, he's very low energy. He's very old news. He's very he's lost his edge. And a sitting president running from prison, it's like that brings some new excitement to it. It could reinvigorate his voters. It could make him more appealing to people.
I think it'll help him.
I think so too. I think
him going to Rikers will help him, if anything.
But that's why I think it's not going to happen.
But will help enough though. I think with Trump where he's at right now, his reputation is ruined. And let's say, for example, the majority of voters are going to be women. They're going to say, oh, he's a felon, even though they don't know what's going on completely. It's like they're going to judge him based off of these charges alone. And it's like, at that point, who's going to vote for him? I mean, like, obviously people that conservatives from before.
And
but
if Trump's in prison, it'll limit his access to media.
Yeah.
And the one thing that the media establishment fears, and they've talked about this many, many times, the media blames themselves for Trump winning the first time around. Because he got billions and billions of dollars in free advertisement, even if it was negative journalism against him. Everybody was always talking about Donald Trump. It was very entertaining. People enjoyed watching it. The media blamed themselves for this. And there is a very real fear, and they talk about this, of Trump kind of igniting a media firestorm again, where these people just cannot help themselves but write story after story after story about Trump. And he has not thus far been able to capitalize on that political advantage, I think because he has really bad advisors. But he could. He could start the
and stuff.
Yeah, he could start the rallying again, and he could say some inflammatory shit, and every media everywhere would be writing about this guy, giving him that same kind of boost that he had, during his original election.
I'm looking at the average voter's mindset, and they're going to think to themselves, this guy's a criminal. I don't want to rule over this country. I think he's a bad person. Just because he's charged with these charges, right? My thing is, like, the majority of voters are going to be women. That's the crazy part.
I think the issue with Trump this time around is that, first of all, the things he said in 2015, 2016 were unprecedented for a serious presidential candidate, at least in this century, like in terms of, I'm sure there was crazy presidents before and saying like outrageous things to the public's, at least to the public's sensibilities.
Andrew Jackson was one of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was
crazy.
That's literally what I was thinking
Not sure I'd say
And
he's crazy.
Well,
he was
different, right?
No, he dueled and killed people, right?
That's what I'm saying.
He was one of the first presidents that, if I'm not mistaken, it was Andrew Jackson. Sorry, go ahead.
Not every president was
Pretty
like
liberal.
clean cut in a suit.
Wasn't that Alexander?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Hamilton and Burr?
Let me look it up. I think it's Andrew Jackson now challenging
put it
duels.
on,
But keep going.
Put it this way: in the post-war period, let's say, I don't think. Maybe Nixon's an exception, but even then, he was very tame. Trump, he was a reality TV host. He was saying all of these things that were super politically incorrect at the time, and everyone was just shocked by it. Right? The shock factor's gone. I think. I think if he would have said the same thing that he said in 2015, 2016, right now, it's not going to have the same effect because we're already accustomed to it. We've already endured 4 years of Trump. Now, here's what I think, though. He could have a chance of winning, I think, this is my opinion, if he understood what exact base is actually going to get him elected. And it's the base that cared about things like NAFTA. It's the base in the Rust Belt that cares about trade. These people are very politically apathetic a lot of the times. But he managed to mobilize them and get them out to vote in 2016. The blue-collar working class in the Midwest and elsewhere. And for some reason, he's not aware that that is what actually got him the presidency in 2016. And this time around, he's not really... He's calling
more moderate now.
Well, he's a typical Republican now. He's calling Kamala a communist. That's his edge now. What that's like some shit we would get from the Tea Party or from Mitt Romney or something. It's like he's not in any
his
way.
Advisors are they really are screwing him over because
Chris LaCivita is
and you make a valid point that we do want the 2016 Trump. That's what we want. We want this guy to be out there saying, no, build a wall, right? Build the wall. Throw the illegals out. Screw these people.
Well,
empty the swamp. Empty the deep state, right? Let's get into that. He's not doing that. What his advisors are telling him is, look, the Republicans don't have the numbers. They don't have the numbers anymore to win elections. Objectively, that's kind of true. They really don't have the numbers anymore to win elections. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to do what all Republicans before him have done and open this up into big tent republicanism, move towards LGBTQ, move more towards the female vote. He wants to mobilize that female vote, and he wants to mobilize it in a big way.
I think the problem with Trump, the reason the Trump phenomena of 2016 will never come back. I think it's had its due. It's done. And the reason for that is because he has a lot of explaining to do as far as why it is during his 4-year presidency he basically sold out. He staffed his entire administration with swamp creatures, Bolton, Pompeo, and others. He didn't really deliver. I mean, he talked about the trade policies and other kinds of things. And yeah, there was a degree of prosperity people felt before COVID. But at the same time, Trump was very domesticated and very tamed during that administration. And he's even doubled down in that direction this time around. And in 2020, he failed.
Well, he was hamstrung. They did everything that they could to hamstring him. They had false investigations, multiple impeachments.
Yeah.
The guy was not allowed to do a fucking thing. Anytime he moved any type of policy forward, there was a collaboration to destroy his entire life. Every single time. How are you going to impeach this guy under 2 false impeachments? 2 false impeachments they knew wouldn't go anywhere, just to drag the circus along to stop his administration from moving forward the legislation that he wanted. The guy was totally hamstrung. Many political pundits at the time were saying, even Democrat political pundits, man, they really just need to leave this guy alone so that he can at least try to move some of these changes forward, and then you can criticize him on the changes.
Well, to your point, I think the Trump back in 2016 gave shock value, and he actually gave people what they wanted, which was a change. It's only different. He had that appeal, and he was, like you said, shock value. But he's been through a lot. You said earlier, bro. He's been through a lot. I mean, any human being that's been through what he's been through would probably either commit suicide or even say, you know what, I'm done with this shit. I'm over it. So by default, he's going to be a different person because he's been through a lot. Now, granted, though, people do want the old Trump from 2016, but with that where nowadays, I don't think so.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're Trump, look at it from Trump's position. You're multi-billionaire, right? And you were kind of beloved by the population before you ever ran for presidency. Nobody was out there calling Trump a racist or a sexist or anything before the election. He was kind of known far and wide by almost every celebrity. They all loved him. They were all good, close friends with him, this type of thing. From his perspective...
The Apprentice was huge in the 2000s.
Yeah, from his perspective, he goes, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to go enjoy my billions and humping Melania every day, and fuck all you people. You almost can't blame the guy, right? You almost can't blame the guy.
You know, the issue, though, is that he was faced with a choice. Let's just say being charitable. He realized he's under attack from all directions, so what does he do? He doubles down, or he doesn't double down, sorry. He focuses on the allies he can make within the Republican establishment in order to protect him. That's always been his strategy. But I think he should have taken more risks. He should have tried to cultivate his actual new movement more, because the MAGA voters in 2016 were not your typical Republican electorate. It was a new type of political beginning. These people used to vote for Obama, actually. A lot of them used to vote Democrat. They weren't really classical Republicans in a traditional sense. He didn't do enough to cultivate that politically. He didn't do enough to kind of get these people in administrative positions and appointing them and so on and so on. He instead opted for making alliances with the Republican establishment, which he's really, I mean, especially now he's faced the pressure legally, he's really doubled down in that direction of really like trying to
he had an impossible task going in, that he needed the Republican establishment to help him push his agenda forward. He had to have that. And whoever he brought into his administration was not going to have the same type of political power as the establishment who was there. These are the same guys who have been putting what you would call the deep state, which is just lifelong officials, which are in appointed positions. The current Congress knows who all of these people are. Many times they appointed them themselves. He needs the establishment, which is there to move his agenda forward. He needed that. So he was trying to make deals, cut deals with them, because that's what he is as a deal maker. How could he have brought in his own people into these keynote positions? He still would have had to work with the establishment.
He should have done the absolute most. Maybe this is going far beyond the pale as far as what he even understood his mission was. He should have done the absolute most to cause as much chaos as he possibly could while he was in that administration.
I think that was mission accomplished.
I was going to say.
I mean, I don't know, because although he should have done the most he could have to not in order to see through his policies and his agendas, because it's not going to happen. This is an issue of sovereignty. The government right now is occupied by a deep state. It's not accountable to the public. It's not something we can elect. It's not something we can vote for. So if you're going to go against them in any kind of way, you better prepare for war. And that's what it is. It's a war. And what's the conclusion of that war? It's maybe something a little more radical than what we could expect from elections. It's a systemic breakdown. It's a breakdown of I know I sound fucking crazy right now, but it's
Doesn't sound crazy because it's true. But the thing is all the defectors who are there, the deep state, and this was stated to Trump multiple times. Schumer said it himself. If you go against the intelligence community, they have what did he say? 1,001 ways to make you pay.
Yeah.
And he's not kidding. He's saying, look, these people can dig up dirt you never even thought that, you forgot about this
But Trump
shit.
had the people on his side.
But the thing is that once the media realized its mistake of if you run Trump news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's really, really bad for you because it just draws all attention to Trump. Everybody wants to hear everything Trump has to say. Even if they hate him, they want to hear what he has to say. Once the media figured this mistake out and started backing off on the 24-hour Trump coverage and Trump bashing, that was the worst thing that ever happened to Trump.
Well, isn't it also true that there was alternative media that started getting developed at this time where people weren't really looking to mainstream media anymore for answers?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a whole new movement that was going on.
That's true.
And he didn't do enough to develop it or invest in it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that he could have done more to cultivate the base and to placate. I mean, even the rallies this time around have been kind of pathetic. He's not doing the same type of rallying that he was, where you saw just lines of vehicles for miles and miles and miles to come out because the guy was like a rock star. I agree with all of that. I'm just saying that I think that needs to be tempered with the reason of if you are in office, these establishment shills, right? They are entrenched in power, and if you want to move a legislative agenda forward, unfortunately, you have to deal with them. There's no way around that. I don't see how you get around that.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary evil. It's a necessary evil to deal with, which kind of sucks. Yeah. But no, I mean, I think what you were saying before, as far as like his approach to politics was unprecedented in 2016.
Right.
He came in as a businessman. He was saying all kinds of stuff. He wasn't politically correct, and I think it was a stark contrast to Obama, who was politically correct, very well spoken, very eloquent, etc. Said all the right things, charming, and everything else like that. Versus Trump comes in and he uses like maybe 100 words in his vocabulary, and he's like, "We're going to build a wall," and everyone's like, "Oh yeah!" Like,
see, the U.S. government is as much a pageant show as it is an actual formal government with sovereignty and all those kind of things. It's a show. It's like a theme park. It's a theme park of democracy.
Sure.
Obama's a big character in it. He's an actor. The Clintons are actors. These are all people that are aligned and accepted, and they're accepted characters. Trump was a fucking crossover that they didn't
see coming.
He came from The Apprentice. Yeah, he was a media guy, sure, an entertainer, but it's like this was a horror show crossover in their eyes. They're like,
he's a reality star.
This guy's coming, sneaking backstage, and he's ruining our pageantry of democracy. So, that was something I don't think they'll ever forgive him for, no matter how much he tries to appease them. He did so much damage.
Well, and the thing, all politics revolves around interpersonal conflict and the WWE style. In front of you, we hate each other, we loathe each other, we can't wait to destroy each other, and then behind the scenes they're having dinners with each other, they're going out with each other, they're doing whatever they can to advance whatever their personal political agenda is, while on the front side telling you they're doing exactly the opposite so that they can placate their base. But that's always the case. It's always the case that politics has to be a pageant show. You have to make a spectacle. If you don't make a spectacle, you can't get attention.
So I don't want to bleed too much into another news story, but it's like, the decisive thing in 2016 is that this was the rise of social media. And, they did all these studies and they did all these investigations, Cambridge Analytica and all this stuff. They found out that Trump's his real reach as far as media was concerned, and how his supporters were getting access to fake news and stuff. It was as a new form of media that they couldn't really fully control, through social media. And I was going to say that because it's because of new changes in big tech when it comes to Trump. I don't know if it's on the news.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that actually with Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I was.
Ahead.
Yeah, because
we can transition to that right now.
Yeah, because a lot of I don't know how many people know this. J.D. Vance is the guy he chose as his vice president. That's a Peter Thiel guy. Now Peter Thiel is part of the PayPal mafia. He was with Elon Musk, and these are kind of like some of the founding fathers of Silicon Valley, so to speak, right? And also Peter Thiel was close with. He was an early investor in Zuckerberg too, if I recall correctly. So the Silicon Valley, that class of billionaires and Jeff Bezos and all this, they are not necessarily in league with Wall Street and them. I mean, they're fully dependent on them, and they're ultimately they have the same ties to the Department of Defense and the agenda and so on, and they have their own agendas, but. if you always notice, the political correctness that's been enforced on social media has been the most grotesque and inauthentic anywhere else. You know, like how they were enforcing it on Facebook and how they were on Twitter before Elon Musk. Well, I think a lot of that was due to overcompensating because they were appeasing this kind of external pressure to assimilate. I mean, if you remember, Trump was in front of Congress, in front of all these senators when they, sorry, not Trump, Zuckerberg, when they were questioning him, it was like a total meeting of different worlds. Like Zuckerberg's coming from Silicon Valley, and this is the old, traditional, government machine, and they're totally alienated from each other, right? So it doesn't actually surprise me that now Zuckerberg is coming around more to Trump because he feels it's safer to. Now, he saw with X, with Elon Musk, and he has a kind of personal rivalry with him, and Elon Musk is openly supporting Trump and, gaining
I think that's
self-preservation.
self-preservation. I think they kind of understand, especially after the assassination attempt, that I saw Facebook, like, kind of Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of these people, like, because after the assassination attempt, everyone from, especially when you pick J.D. Vance, everyone from Silicon Valley, all these guys are legacy Democrats, by the way. They always voted left.
Yeah.
They'll jump on the Trump train because I think to them they're like, okay, we're going to be able to be better preserved with Trump on our side and we'll donate to the thing. And also I think it's because of a lot of them are Zionists and have heavy support for Israel.
That's true.
And they knew that he would go ahead and give them what they need. So I think two parts where self-preservation and obviously his foreign policy with Israel. So, I mean, Zuckerberg, man, I think he's a snake. I think he's just doing 100%. What he needs to do to preserve himself and preserve Facebook.
The same with all of Silicon Valley. But it's fascinating though because it's like the whole establishment, all the corporations, all of the media, all of big business, whatever, they're all rallying around Kamala.
Now they are
a huge degree of them, right?
Yeah. Now,
but it's like, is the Zuckerberg thing here? Is this new or?
Yeah, it came out like a day or two ago.
Right. So
we can pull it up here.
Yeah.
I'll read some of the letter. Did you have commentary before I read the letter?
Well, I was just saying it's interesting how we're starting to see Silicon Valley. It seems like not get on board with the Kamala agenda. There seems to be a rift going on there. You know, I don't know if it's too much to read into that just from Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel and whatever. But
yeah, because they doubled back. Once Trump almost got shot, like a lot of people came out to support Trump. And then right before Trump got shot, I think he had a meeting or he did a podcast out in Silicon Valley with all these people, all these tech guys. Yeah. And then obviously J.D. Vance was a big part of the reason why he picked J.D. Vance, despite the fact that he's heavily unliked, is because of his links to tech.
Well, also I think that a lot of these tech agencies don't really realize or understand that this is a massive favor system which happens in Washington. And Zuckerberg's expecting, of course, that he's going to get some kind of scratch on the back if he's going to be censoring on behalf of an administration, scrubbing information, things like this. So when he comes with his hand out and says, okay, now it's my turn, what are you going to do for me? And they say, nothing, go fuck yourself. I'm certain that upsets these guys, right? They don't understand that that's part of the game. And they thought that they were going to get something, and it turns out they don't get anything at all.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. I just want to clarify. It's. I'm not trying to make these Silicon Valley guys out to be like some kind of anti-Zionist. I mean, you alluded earlier their ties to the hardcore Zionists, but they also have ties to elements in the DoD, like the real hardcore deep state, right? But there's elements in that deep state that
Palantir,
are like
people forget that.
Right. But they're so extreme. Eric Prince, he's part of the network. They're so extreme in terms of the agenda they have for America that even the mainstream establishment considers them like too dangerous or too whatever. But so it's kind of like it comes full circle. It's like the people that seem like they're being disaligned from the agenda are actually the ones who want to accelerate it to an even more aggressive degree. So it's always something important to bear in mind, I think.
Yeah. Rogan had Thiel on, and I listened to him talk for a little bit, and I was like, this guy's a fucking weirdo. But as a lot of these billionaires are, they're a lot of the time they're extremely solipsistic, very not in touch with the real world. Mark Cuban is like this too. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Mark Cuban speak.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like the thing is this: they've been rich for so long that they kind of forgot how to identify with the regular person. So they just say a bunch of sensationalized, stupid shit, and they think that the world revolves around them. And this is very typical of a lot of billionaires that I've noticed whenever I watch their interviews. It's like they don't have a touch with reality because they've been rich for so goddamn long.
I think they don't care about us as people. They just care about their agenda.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, they kind of plan towards what they want done at all times. So.
And also another thing with these people is they care about influence more than anything. They don't care necessarily about money anymore. They care a lot about influence and like turning into they want power.
It's data. Data matters more than anything.
Like a lot
it's
of
the ultimate type of capital.
Mark and Elon have all the data because with their database, bro, they could get anyone in the world almost.
There's also a great disconnect which happens, I think, when you can just raise your hand and get whatever you want. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you want a jumbo jet, you can just have it. If you want a yacht, you can just have it. If you want an island, you can just have it.
I mean, but
you disconnect from objective reality, and you stop. You start to forget how the world works. You no longer are a part of the world the rest of us live in.
Yeah. Real quick, let's pull up this letter real fast from Zuckerberg. So Zuckerberg regards working with Biden-Harris administration. So this is on dated August 26, 2024. If we can make it bigger a bit. And I'll just read some of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
8 million views. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It goes here. The Honorable Jim Jordan, Chairman, Committee of the Judiciary, United States House of Representatives, obviously the address. Chairman Jordan, I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms. As you are aware, Meta has produced thousands of documents as part of your investigation and made a dozen employees available for transcribed interviews. Further to our cooperation with your investigation, I welcome the opportunity to share what I've taken away from this process. There's a lot of talk right now about how the U.S. government interacts with companies like Meta, and I want to be clear about our position. Our platforms are for everyone. We're about promoting speech and helping people. Notice how I didn't put free speech there.
Yeah, he didn't put
and helping people connect in a safe and secure way. As part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns around public disclosure and public safety. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own now our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we couldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Okay, so you post that when it matters. Nice job, Mark. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead-up of the 2020 election. That fall, when we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving the then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent that story to fact-checkers to review the temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policies and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers.
Wow.
We're sorry, we fucked up. We fucked up. We're sorry. Sorry about that. When this critical information was out there, we said that this is part of a Russian disinformation campaign, and it never was.
And they prolonged the process.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect timing.
Unbelievable.
Apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support electoral infrastructure. The idea here was to make sure local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they needed to help people vote safely during the global pandemic. I made these contributions through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. That's his wife, if I'm not mistaken, right? That he built a statue of like a simp. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analysis I've been showing otherwise, I know that some people believe this work benefited one party over the other. My goal is to be neutral and not play a role one way or another, or even appear to be playing a role, so I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Respectfully, Mark Zuckerberg.
That's really funny.
Love to get your guys' takes on this.
It's really funny. First and foremost, is moving back to the idea of the Russiagate. That was always one of the weakest narratives that the Democrats ever had, and they really had a hard time selling it. It was built on the faultiest foundation ever. They could never really present any proof to the American public of any of this ever happening. They just kind of had these really weak allegations, which initially Clinton was just using as a talking point against Trump. I don't think that they ever had intended to try to build an entire impeachment off of that, which is what they ended up doing. But it's wild to me that at the time, that Zuckerberg, as all of these stories are coming through, Facebook is saying it's Russian disinformation. You were seeing it on Twitter. This was
false news.
Yeah, false news, fake news.
Yep.
You're seeing it everywhere. And it turns out, and I think we're gonna see a lot more of this kind of press release of, well, gee, guys, you know, we're sorry. You should still trust us, even though we fucked you and told you a narrative which was completely false that the government insisted we tell you, right? How are you going to trust a company like that again?
So there's a club called the Meta Club, and a bunch of programs, for example, X, Instagram, all these platforms have a club.
Yep.
In the club, they have rules that they have set for each person that goes in the club. It could be, for example, no shoes allowed, only white T-shirts, you can't say XYZ. And as a result, these platforms have power because they control each user in the platform and the club.
Mm-hmm.
Which means, by default, whatever they set as the perfect agenda for people to follow, you have to follow. So, but if you don't follow it, you're either canceled or delete off the platform.
Right.
And this is another example of them censoring real information because they were pressured by the government to do so, which means fake news all over.
So one thing I find interesting is that, you know, in the post-war period, all of the press, the mainstream press in the United States, and especially with the rise of cable television and whatever, it was all really controlled by the government, or we should rather say the deep state. You know, it was in coordination with the CIA that made sure that the news cycle did never disalign with the agenda of the state, the government, or whatever, right? So there was always a kind of understanding at that level that the media people are consuming, the information people are consuming, and is spreading is compatible and aligned with the agenda,
Yeah,
right?
you're talking about the synergy.
Yeah,
Right. It's a synergistic relationship.
So here, Zuckerberg is saying we want Facebook to actually be independent. You know, we don't want to be involved. We were going to take precautions within our company so that we don't have to directly listen to the government or whatever. And
if it happens again,
right? But I'm kind of torn in terms of whether I should just be cynical and say, okay, he's trying to deceive people. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's because he understands Facebook is a lot of it's used by older people and it's used by a lot of the people who might lean more conservative, or is there really a rift that we're seeing between the traditional kind of, you know, state machine that was built after the Cold War and these kinds of new forms of technology and information technology that were built by the kind of military deep state? Is that rift actually happening?
Well, I think there could even be a simpler explanation than kind of this dynamic power struggle. It could really just be that the government is costing these companies a lot of resources with their endless inquiries and their kind of cloak and dagger bullshit. And so, as Zuckerberg points out here, we allocated all these resources to this. We had various people working on this. It cost us a lot of money. What the fuck are we getting here out of this? And it could just be as simple as we want to create some distance between ourselves and the government because it just costs us a lot of money to deal with the endless paperwork and inquiries and nonsense that they're asking us to do. It may not even be as complex as we're trying to distance ourselves from these political administrations based on some value structure. It could just be purely profit motive and purely financial.
100%. And you know, it's clear. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, I don't know if it's a show. Again, how conspiratorial do you want to be? But it's like we saw.
I got something to say after you guys are done. We're gonna have to switch the rumble though when I say what I'm gonna say. But I got something to definitely say after this.
We saw Zuckerberg, you know, in his hearings in Washington, and that he was like a space alien. I mean, aside from the fact that he's just like extremely awkward and autistic or whatever.
Reptile?
Yeah, he was just like he was coming from a completely different kind of milieu than the traditional government, the traditional power structure. And I think that there's something to investigate as far as like, has Silicon Valley prepared us for a new structure of statehood, a new machine of statehood? Is that necessarily going to be a good thing? You know, that's what we have to ask. Because although it's opposed to the Democrats and although it's opposed to Kamala and so on, do they have something lined up for us that might be, even potentially worse?
Doesn't this lean into the kind of Torba idea of what he calls the parallel economy? And with a parallel economy is going to come a parallel government, right? So if what's going on is these alternative forms of media are beginning to gain independence, and they have their own platforms for streaming, they have their own ways to collect monies and revenue, and they have their own products that they're selling, that is a parallel economy. Yeah. There's no doubt that that's a parallel economy. Wouldn't that necessarily have some governance around? I think it would.
It's a new niche of political power and state power and sovereignty. It's an unmarked territory of sovereignty, and the
digital sovereignty we'll call it maybe.
Yeah, but and the traditional form of state sovereignty has not really been able to assimilate it. So
it doesn't have the mechanisms yet. It hasn't caught up with the technology, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Not yet. It will.
It will eventually.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. Well, I think it already has in the sense of the deep state. This is coming from ultimately the military from a long time ago. But the traditional form of sovereignty, Congress and the Senate and all this, all of these other kind of superficial bureaucracies. To what extent is it going to have to be totally kind of swept up to accommodate and adjust to it?
Well, they want full control, so at some point, everything's going to be controlled. What you can post, what you can say, what you can't say. And then either you end up in the gulag or you're shut off. So,
well, and also, we'll get to that story later, but it ties in pretty well to this, too.
It does.
No, what did you want to... You don't want to say it? Or?
No, I was just going to say this ties into the Telegram.
Oh, the Telegram
story as well.
Yeah. Censorship at its finest.
Okay, so real quick, let's switch to Rumble real fast for like a minute, because I have something that I want to say that I know I can't say it on YouTube. So just come on over, guys. Well, maybe I'd get away with it, but nah, let's just be safe. Yeah, come on over. Switch on over to Rumble for just a minute, because I'm going to tell you guys something. This whole Facebook situation and stuff like that. You already did? Already switched it?
Well, let me confirm.
Yeah, confirm we're on Rumble, and then we're gonna go back on.
Oh, there we go.
We're on Rumble now.
Good
Only?
to go. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you look back at 2020, right, you got to look at, because my thing is I'm real big on like identifying who is who. This whole thing of deep state and globalists and all this other shit. Okay, what I'm going to say doesn't represent the views of anyone here at the table. It just represents me, Myron Gaines, okay? Just say fucking Jews, man, because this is what it is. You look at who ran Facebook. Obviously, Mark Zuckerberg, Jew, right? Zionist Jew. Who ran Instagram? Adam Mosseri, Zionist Jew. Who ran YouTube at the time? Susan Wojcicki, Zionist Jew. Who was her sister? The owner of 23andMe. Who founded Google? Sergey Brin, Zionist Jew, right? Then you go and you look at who ran the CDC at the time. Rochelle Walensky, Zionist Jew. Then you look at who ran Pfizer. Albert Bourla, Zionist Jew. So you're telling me that all of these platforms, which were super pro-censorship in 2020, by the way, that pushed out a certain narrative about the vaccine and go ahead and take the vaccine, which would push you to take the vaccine and make them a bunch of money with these companies, whether it's Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, etc. They're all run by Zionist Jews. So not only are they controlling the vaccines, they're controlling the mandates that get the vaccines out there, and then they're also controlling the information about the vaccines, and they're only pushing you towards information that is pro-vaccine. This is why people like RFK, people that were dissenters, got heavily censored and or were attacked. This is why Joe Rogan went ahead and got attacked, and they put that clip of him saying nigger, nigger, nigger a million times. They went ahead and went after RFK. They went after anyone that talked about the vaccine. They banned you in 2020 if you mention anything about the vaccine on YouTube. And anything that was put out that was anti-vax was immediately censored. And Zuckerberg was a part of this fucking thing. I think now he's coming forward and saying, oh, well, we kind of fucked up, blah, blah, blah. We were pressured at that. But at the end of the day, he admits it. The buck stops with them. And what did they choose to do? They chose to censor a lot of dissenters. And here's the thing. They know deep down there's a lot of people that are going to fucking die from this stupid-ass vaccine. And he's kind of getting ahead of the curve and being like, look, man, the government pressured us. We didn't take down everything. We took down some of the stuff, etc. Because people are fucking waking up and realizing that they weren't told everything that they needed to be told about the vaccine. And imagine how many people try to put information out there about the vaccine being dangerous or causing issues, but they had their voices stifled or stopped. Thanks to Susan Wojcicki. Thanks to a fucking Mark Zuckerberg. Thanks to a fucking Adam Mosseri. Thanks to Rachel Walensky that put out this stupid CDC shit where 6 feet apart, get the vaccine, you better get it. They pushed all this fucking propaganda for years. Locked us up in our houses, forced us to take a stupid ass vaccine. Some people lost their jobs because they didn't want to take it, etc. But now we're realizing it doesn't matter anymore. Do you see anybody wearing wearing masks or doing the 6 foot separation bullshit? No. But who ran all the bullshit? We got to call it what the fuck it is. Zionist Jews were behind the whole fucking lockdown. They were behind the vaccine pushes, and they were behind the fucking censorship that kept it going. So, look, man, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Again, my views don't represent everyone else here, but, you know, when you actually look and see who the fuck was in charge of a lot of this stuff, it all comes back to the same fucking people, man. So, fuck that shit. We'll go back to you.
No.
No? You didn't take one? Not one vax?
But you know,
Google all those names, guys. You'll see what I'm talking about.
But you know, look,
We'll
however...
go back to YouTube.
Okay, what's that?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
We're going to go back to YouTube now.
Or do you want
Can I even in...
Oh, it's about, we're going to talk about them boys some more? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was
Okay, go ahead.
Look,
We'll go back to Rumble.
yeah.
You're going to talk about
So,
that.
back to Rumble.
look, however overrepresented, you know, Jews are in terms of CEO positions with the big tech companies, I still think it's fair to say there's a deep state, which really isn't just Zion. You can't really just say it's Zionist
It's not
Jews.
just, no. But a lot of them are.
Well,
The Pearls, the Bill Crystals.
look, Zionism is 100%
Henry
part.
Kissinger. Like, all these people were deep state guys, all fucking Zionist
but
Jews.
listen, Zionism is definitely part of the deep state agenda. There's no doubt about that. But what we're talking about when we're talking about a deep state is a parallel kind of form of government that's forming after the Cold War, where, okay, we have our Constitution, we have our regular democracy, but then we have the Dole brothers creating, you know, all these kinds of, you know, extra legal apparatuses and institutions. We have the OSS, the CIA, we have the military-industrial complex, and we have a military deep state for military intelligence and technology. And it's like, you go at these really deep levels, and, you know, Zionism is just like one of the arms of it, you know. And when it comes to what we're talking about, like, with the rise of Silicon Valley big tech companies potentially opening the space for like a new form of political sovereignty, you know, you have to think about when the Cold War was being waged and we had all this shadow government basically that was created to fight communism, you know, to what extent has that actually just become the real government? And the one that we see on TV is just a spectacle, and it's just a show, right? And also Big Pharma is 100% also part of it, all the monopoly capital, you know, corporate companies. But, you know, is Big Pharma controlled by Zionists? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Albert Bourla is a Jew. Zionist Jew.
Who's that?
He's the head of Pfizer. And
He's the CEO?
He's the CEO.
Yeah.
And then you look at BlackRock, Larry Fink, Zionist Jew.
Yeah,
bro,
but-
it's like every single time. It's like, again, I'm not saying it's only them. Of course not. There's other people involved too.
Right.
But make no mistake about it. There's, you know, most Zionists are Christians. But it's interesting to me how everywhere you look, when there's some bullshit going on, whether it's censorship or misinformation or whatever, they're saying, no, this and that. It's like, it's always a fucking Zionist Jew. Almost always. It's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, like, I think the agenda of Big Pharma, though, was definitely, I don't know about you. I mean, I'm open to different theories, but I really think it was about them turning profit. You know, I think it was for financial gain. The whole vax thing 100%. And, you know, 100%. Rushing the FDA regulations.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and I think that's a whole machine. It's not just Pfizer. It's a lot of...
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. Like, you got... Okay, so there's different parts of it, right? You got the social media platforms,
right.
That the information goes
controlling
through.
the information,
but they're controlling the flow of information, and they're dude. I remember vividly in 2020, if you said anything that was anti-vax, you were banned, or they were going to put, a banner under your video saying that this is misinformation.
Yeah.
Then you look at who the head of the CDC was that was pushing all this bullshit out about 6 feet distance, all this other stuff, Fauci and whatever. But it was Rochelle Walensky who ran the CDC in 2020, Zionist Jew.
Can you even talk about the vax now on YouTube?
You can now, but like it was really bad in 2020.
Well,
It was
I
bad.
remember they would just strike you.
They would strike you just for like saying the word vaccine.
Yeah, you couldn't even say the term.
Yeah,
we had to use beer bug. I remember using Corona, the beer
jabby
bug,
stabbies.
the jabby stabby and shit. People are still to this day still worried about it. So like when you look at every cornerstone of this whole vaccine and COVID mandate, whether it was the social media information coming in, the people that are pushing the vaccine, or the people producing the vaccine, when it comes to the pharmaceutical companies, all run by Jews, all of them. It's crazy,
dude. I'd have to look into that
not the
myself
only ones.
because I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I haven't studied it myself. So
and then
I can't.
Google, the main platform, which you would run a lot of this stuff and ask questions about. Who was the founder of that? A Russian Jew.
Yeah,
Zio as well.
there's a lot of the Russian immigration for Silicon Valley came because of the chip technology that they developed in the Soviet Union. What they basically did when it collapsed is they took all the expertise, all the best mathematics. I wouldn't not necessarily chip technology, the best statisticians and mathematicians and engineers and stuff, and they basically took all of that skills and resources. And got into big tech here, and it was technology from the Soviet Union.
I did a deep dive on all this, and it's like, it's just when you look and you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's almost funny. It's like every single time. You know what I mean? I'm like, I looked at name, I'm like, okay, Wikipedia, early life, boom, every time, bro. It's like, it's like a game now at this point.
But do you ever think, though, that if these faces are so easily accessible, are they really the ones ultimately in power? If you really so readily, easily know who they are.
No, you got to deep dive.
Because
to
I feel like, for example, Eric Prince, he's not a Jew, is he? Or I don't know.
Let me look him up.
Yeah.
Let's look it up. We'll have fun.
I get what you're saying, because the people that
that guy is not really that high profile, but he's like,
see them in the public eye. You're not going to see them.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't find them online by doing some searches.
Yeah,
they're
that's what I mean.
Behind the scenes, pulling the strings, you would never even know.
Yeah.
They're in a council somewhere in maybe Transylvania. Just
offshore bank accounts,
something like that, bro.
I mean, I don't even think CEOs are the people who are in power. A CEO is a salaried. It's a salaried position. That's a figurehead,
I just think at some level, there's a coincidence where there's a bunch of people that are a certain race or certain, I want to say, ideology that are heading these companies. But the point here is that you're in their house. They have some rules. You don't follow the rules for their current timing, then you're fucked. But at the same time, censoring elections on purpose, now you're pushing the whole country in a certain direction.
I think people underestimate that it's like the people that are in power. And they've done studies on this, and these are the same ruling aristocratic families that were in power like 500 years ago in Europe.
Yeah.
Like as the nobles and the aristocrats and the lords and the royal whatever bloodlines.
Charles, that type of thing.
They haven't changed.
The royal families from Europe and the noble families, the esteemed lineages, they're still the ones that are in power now, and they've maintained their kind of their family pedigrees, again, originating from European, Anglo-American aristocracies, and they're just not that public. They're not celebrities. They don't really.
Of course, they're always behind the scenes. You got to do digging to find these people.
See, Jews, even since the Rothschilds, tended to be high profile. They tended to be celebrities. Why? Because it was unusual for Jews to rise to the ranks and become new money and build it from scratch, compared to the older money, the aristocratic money, which it's part of the aristocratic MO that you're not in public, you're not acting as a celebrity, talking to the masses and stuff like that. So I just think it's always important to keep in mind that dynamic, that there's an unseen, hidden.
Here's the thing:
dimension of power.
Yeah, no, they are hidden, and that's 100%. Like you look at the NBA, right? It's obviously no one gives a fuck about who runs the NBA. They just want to watch the players. But who runs the NBA is 15 of the teams are owned by Jews, right? The head of the NBA, Stern, Jew. Before him was David Stern, and then the guy now is definitely a Jew. What's his name?
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver, yeah, he's a Jew, and then before was David Stern. So and then you look at the music industry. So no one gives a fuck about the people that own the record labels, etc. They care about whatever. But then you look at Diddy's mentors. Who is it? Clive Davis, Jew. Then you look at entertainment, right? No one cares about the owners of YouTube or who runs YouTube. They care about PewDiePie and these big people.
Yeah.
But if you look at who ran YouTube from 2014 all the way to 2023, Wojcicki, Susan Wojcicki.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't doubt it.
So it's they're always in the back. If you do a little bit of research, you'll find out who they are.
I'm saying even if you go deep, if you go deeper than that, though,
they're there too.
These guys seem like lower level hucksters compared to the real power, which is where does the finances come from to prop the entertainment industry?
Well, the head of trust and safety that actually bans people at YouTube is a Jew too.
I mean, where does the finance go to kind of allocate the loans and the credit to build these in the first place? And
old money.
That's what I'm saying.
Remember
old money.
And who are the bankers?
Well, we disagree on the
Jewish bankers, man.
We disagree on the percentages.
Yeah,
look, I'll definitely say the Rothschilds are 100% part of it. There are Jews that are 100% part of the ruling class, 100,000%.
Yeah.
It's just I don't agree that they're the majority. I don't agree.
I have a question. Pointing out who's behind
Here we go.
Hold on. This is very important. Pointing out who's behind the scenes, pulling strings. What does that do? Someone please tell me. What does that do?
I guess it just
Other than make you a target,
no,
I
100%.
get fucked up.
100%.
What does that do for
yeah.
the public?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people probably didn't know that just now, and now they know.
What are they
who
gonna
was
do with
behind
it?
the behind
What
the
are they
COVID,
gonna do with it?
the COVID thing?
What are they going to do with it?
Education is important, bro.
To do what?
This nigga fresh, man. Not gonna have this discussion with you, bro.
I'm just
Dude
saying.
always like, bro, why you just
There's
gotta name
no
them?
point calling out people.
All right, we'll go back to YouTube
You
then.
cannot
so
defeat.
fresh can feel safe. Let's go. Let's just go back to
Hold
YouTube.
on, Andrew. Am I correct here or no?
I'm just drinking my coffee, listening to this combo, bro.
Bro, I'm the only one with common sense
Look,
here.
man.
Okay.
I think. Look, I think
I'll
if,
fucking
I think,
name them, bro.
I
Like,
think
because
if-
most people don't even know this shit. So I was like, yo, who ran the country at this time and pushed the COVID vaccine and pushed the mandate? Let's fucking name these assholes. I just gave you all the names.
Listen, man, I'm your friend, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man. I just call
I
like
care
it
about
is.
you, bro. I care about you.
That's
but-
fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
I mean, look,
We'll go
I
back.
think.
Anything else before we go back to YouTube on Jews?
No. I mean, we can go to YouTube.
All right, we'll go
I'll
back
just
to YouTube
say
now,
that
guys.
I think understanding the power structure and its historical origins is very important, and it does give you the ability, at least, to have a step one to think about, like, how could this even possibly be defeated, or even changed in any kind of way, just knowing how it works. And from my studies, from what I've studied about it, it's like it's very, very old. It's very old. I mean, we're talking
Adam Weishaupt, way back then.
even way earlier than that,
That's
man.
true,
It's
that's
like
true,
the
yeah.
Renaissance, at least, Renaissance Italy, like hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Andrew, I'm curious to hear your opinion, though,
About what?
about all this people
We're
talk.
on YouTube, man.
We're back on YouTube. It's fine. Anyway, so let's. Where we at here?
You know what, Myron? We should do a debate ourselves about this topic. I think the audience would love that. What do you think? Me and
do you
debate the society itself and who runs the world and what you should do about
Bro,
it.
you know the answer to that, man.
I don't know, but
You know
what,
who runs it.
What should we do as a community to stop this?
Bro, the people are learning, man. That's what matters. The people know, and more people are waking up.
They're learning.
good idea,
What's gonna happen
though.
to you?
That's a good idea, though.
Hey, man. If I die in the process, I die in the process.
What?
All right. Okay. So, what do we got up next? Telegram.
Yeah,
Pavlov,
Telegram.
right?
Yes. So
That's the
recently,
next story.
the CEO has been abducted by the French president, and a twist of events happened where he was called to be at dinner with the president of France, but all of a sudden, magically, he gets to the airport on the plane and is greeted by who? The police of France. Let's get to the article.
All right. So, and actually, he was with a girl, which I'll talk about this too, because I do think that this girl had a
You think
place
she was a
in him
thought?
getting jammed up. Well, typical shit. We'll cover it next. But Pavlov Durov said that he was lured to France by President Macron, which we all know about his wife. There's some questions there. It turns out that the French president invited Durov to dine together. Pavlov told about this during interrogation by the police. The French newspaper Le Canard, did I pronounce that right? Canard Shine claims. But instead of lunch, Durov was met in France by local police. Macron did not officially confirm this, but local politician Florian Philippot said that this was quite in the spirit of the French
President.
Remy Lind 2023. I gotta get my glasses.
So, just off of that piece alone, isn't that almost like a perfect setup? The
Yes.
president of a country says to you, let's meet for dinner,
Me for Nobu, nigga.
discuss some things about, the current society, maybe even your platform, maybe working together on some different bases. You're like, you know what? All right, this is the president of a country. He got my back. He's my boy. I'm going to go meet him real quick for some dinner, talk some business. But before you know it, though, you're caught up in a storm of police and arrests.
Well, what's really interesting about this, especially with Durov, is he's not being charged for doing these crimes himself.
Yeah.
They're not saying you did embezzlement and you did what is the list of crimes? Terrorism,
Yeah.
cyberbullying, huge laundry list of crimes. They're not,
Pedophilia as well?
yeah, they're not accusing
Yep.
him of doing any of that. They're just saying that there's people who are on the technology he invented who are doing that.
Yeah.
As though somehow he's responsible for that. This is the same type of argument that gun control advocates often use when somebody goes in and uses an AR-15 in a nefarious way. And suddenly they're going and saying, oh, the gun manufacturer needs to be held responsible and sued into oblivion and this type of thing because their technology is being used. This is bullshit. The fact that the French kind of brought this guy in under false pretenses and then arrested him on charges which had nothing to directly do with him. They're not charging him with any of this. They're just saying this stuff happens on your platform. So what? So fucking what? And it's designed, in fact, to be encrypted so that people's communications are not. I mean, that's what the whole idea of Telegram is the encryption.
Yeah.
So this is used by governments. It's used by all sorts of different people.
Macron himself has
the
Telegram.
trans mafia. When the trans mafia was all over Telegram, organizing to take down various content creators and take down various people who upset them. And when Black Lives Matter is using this technology, when actual terrorists or leftist terrorists are using this technology, nobody gives a shit. Now it's good technology. But if right-wingers are organizing on it, and I guarantee you that's what the laundry list of charges is going to show, so right-wingers are getting together and saying, well, we don't like the Muslims in UK anymore, right? That's what, it'll be shit like that. But when the trans mafia uses it, they organize for their nefarious shit. That's fine, right? So yeah, it's totally.
Well, actually,
it's totally
what I've
bullshit.
heard is that, and don't quote me on this because I'm not absolutely certain about it. It's just something I've heard, is that Telegram was actually being used very prominently in Russian military operations in Ukraine. So that if they actually have access to Telegram and they're able to affect it or shut it down or something, that could actually severely affect the war in Ukraine, actually, and Russia's military efforts. And that to me makes the most sense as far as what the motivation behind something like this would be.
Andrew, you had a good point. And just real quick, just out to your point, you mentioned he was being charged for things he didn't do on his platform, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if we made that into America. Mark Zuckerberg, Adam Azari. All these people would still be tried for the same thing he's being tried for.
They have. So I was going to say something about that. RFK talked about this with his interview with Tucker literally yesterday, which we'll talk about RFK here in a second.
Yeah.
They get protection, and that's why they cooperate. But just so you guys know, by the way, this is actually very important. The reason why these pussy ass social media platforms cooperate so heavily with the government is because they get a certain protection where if you publish something on their platform that breaks the law or anything else like that, they're not liable, and they can't be charged or sued, right? And it's the same protection that a lot of these newspapers enjoy as well, with like the New York Post or whatever it may be, where you can't sue them for publishing certain stuff. So social media platforms get this. That's why they cooperate so much with the government, because they don't want to lose protection and be held liable or held criminally liable for anything that someone on their platform publishes.
Yeah,
so
right.
that's able to protect themselves.
But here's the thing.
Good.
Foreign governments, they don't have to adhere to that. So the thing is that why is it then, if he's being charged for all of these things because the organization on Telegram, when Mark Zuckerberg goes out to France, they're going to arrest him? They're going to arrest Elon Musk when he goes out to France, or are they only going to arrest this guy?
So it's
only him.
It's totally clear.
Yeah, only him.
Isn't that convenient?
It's because they bend to the whim of these foreign governments. Like Zuckerberg is a cuck when it comes to that.
Also, real quick, encryption itself, the method of encryption is bullshit. I'm in tech. That's just outdated, bro. That's just so old, bro. And it's funny because people think you're safe behind WhatsApp, Telegram. No, you're not. They can do
WhatsApp, no, because that's on my
They can
Facebook.
do
But even
flip of a
Telegram.
switch, and they can see all your shit. No one's safe, bro. So, I'm safe behind Telegram. Nigga, no, you're not.
Is
one's safe.
All your communications, right? Even on Twitter, like if you're DMing people, they're reading your DMs.
You go on Wi-Fi, you plug in a cable that's not even like safe. You can get your shit stacked like
So
this.
is that just through your device, or is it through the data itself that's being transmitted on Telegram?
Dude, they have technology right now that can encrypt anything, bro. Dude, no one's safe, bro. So I'm gonna be safe by Telegram. No, you're not.
No.
Yeah. It's all a farce, bro.
Well, what I was gonna say is that
it is significantly harder to get in, though. I'll tell you this from being in law enforcement. Like encrypted programs are much harder to get if you don't have the actual device. You need to have the actual device to see the conversation. It's very difficult to actually like monitor it without going through the
maybe
actual
there's a
device.
way to get remote.
Whenever they lock you up, guess what they got? Your device.
Well, yeah, of course. But they got to get the code to get
there's
into
got to
your
be
phone.
ways. 100%, they have ways to remotely access your device.
Of course.
Without necessarily directly going to Telegram. without it. But
You know what's surprising?
Yeah.
iPhone actually does a very good job of protecting. I swear to God.
From what
as
I've-
crazy that sounds.
From what I've heard about what the CIA was capable of 15 years ago, there's no doubt in my mind.
Well, there was a huge lawsuit. Like, okay, so when I was on the job, this
Yeah.
was actually something. This is a big reason why the FBI doesn't use iPhones. The Apple would not cooperate with them with giving them access to.
But do you
to
think
phones
CIA
remotely.
is a whole different ballpark? Or?
No, they all use the same technology.
Really?
bro.
That's
They're all
crazy.
using cell brights, which is the main thing to use to extract phones. So there might be technology out now. But
Yeah.
what I will say is that, like, compared to the other phone brands, surprisingly, I'm fucking shocked and amazed to say this.
Yeah.
Apple is actually
I know
one of the ones that, like, it's very difficult to hack.
supposedly.
and break.
Blackberry
Blackberries are
supposedly
secure
used
too.
to have.
Blackberries are very
Yeah.
secure.
People
But-
still use BlackBerries.
Compared to other phones.
Well,
guys.
back in the
Compared to
day.
other phones.
back in the day,
So,
yeah.
but I was going to say, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that this is not France doing this. This is 100% coordinated by
Deep
the
state?
U.S. Yeah, absolutely,
For sure.
the U.S. The
For
U.S.
sure.
is 100%.
What was the practical applications of
we
Telegram
look at his
being on the
charges?
battlefield of Russia? What was the details there?
Yeah, there's
Haas?
another article, Bill.
I don't exactly remember. I just remember hearing that from a trusted source,
Mm-hmm.
and that it clicked to me and it made sense.
So here are the charges. It looks
12
like
charges.
charges against Telegram CEO Pavel Durov, including providing cryptology services aiming to ensure confidentiality without certified declaration, and 6 counts of complicity with alleged criminal activity by Telegram users. That's crazy. So we'll pull this up real quick.
And let's mention a girl after this.
Okay. So complicity, webmastering an online platform in order to enable an illegal transaction in an organized group, refusal to communicate at the request of competent authorities information or documents necessary for carrying out and operating interceptions allowed by law, complicity, possessing pornographic images of minors, complicity, distributing, offering, or making available pornographic images of minors in organized groups, complicity or acquiring, transporting, possessing, offering, or selling narcotic substances, complicity, offering, selling, or making available without legitimate reason, equipment, tools, programs, or data designed for or adapted to get access to and damage the operation of automated data processing system, complicity, organized fraud, criminal association with a view to committing a crime of an offense punishable by 5 or more years of imprisonment, laundering of the proceeds derived from the organized group's offenses and crimes, providing cryptology services aimed to ensure confidential without certified declaration, providing a cryptology tool not solely to ensuring authenticity or integrity, monitoring without prior declaration, and then lastly here, importing a cryptology tool ensuring authentication or integrity, monitoring without prior declaration. So guys, I mean, basically, hey, all this shit that happens on your platform, we're hitting you with it.
Yeah.
So let me.
Please, go
Telegram has no rules, right? Do they enforce anything?
Yeah, they have.
moderation.
Yeah,
They have rules.
Yeah, they do.
Who?
Okay.
Yeah, they can get your group shut down. They shut them
it's
down
a-
all the
it's a
time.
report.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do. They have rules for because
Okay.
Telegram's not just
So,
a two-way
'cause-
encryption service anymore.
'cause how it works legally-
it's become more of a
Yeah.
social media platform.
Because how it works is that if you're a social media platform, you can actually be criminally liable for illegal things being done using your platform, right? Or
Well, it depends. There's, I believe that there's 2 ways that this can be done. One is you have immunity based on some criteria, or you don't have immunity based on other criteria. But I'm not sure how it works.
like, do they have a duty to actually enforce content
But hold
moderation?
on. To your point, though,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think that this depends on where you're at. So this is why I think what'll happen. I think ultimately what's going to happen is these, tech leaders, Silicon Valley leaders, people who have new technologies, start getting arrested in foreign nations because they can't possibly comply with all these global laws and regulations from each and every country on planet Earth. I think there's going to end up being a universal Bill of Rights.
And this is why Rumble shut down in France. Because here's the thing, and this is the thing, like, so this is where it's getting, right? It's getting to a point where other countries don't observe freedom of speech like we do. We're very fortunate to have the First Amendment here in the United States. But in Eastern Europe, especially these, like, former colonial powers, which is kind of funny, they're pussified now. They're pussified. They're run by weak leaders that don't necessarily recognize free speech, etc. So for them, they look at it like, okay, these American companies that facilitate free speech, we need to somehow monitor these people. Now, Instagram, Facebook, etc., they're probably bending the knee all the time, giving them whatever they want, whatever it is, right? That's why I think WhatsApp now is compromised, because Facebook runs it and they've given their information, right? They're not necessarily an encryption service the same degree as Telegram, which is a big reason why Telegram is so popular. It's precisely because WhatsApp used to be the one that everyone used, but now everyone uses Telegram and Signal. So I think we're going to see more of this where if you operate in these countries and you don't go and you don't cooperate with that country with what they want, because you can see there
You're going
not
to jail.
cooperating, etc.
Yeah.
You're going to go to jail. So people like Chris Pavlovsky, etc. They're like, you know what? We're not going to comply with your authoritarian commands. We're just going to shut down in your fucking country, and that's what he did.
But
He
Myra,
shut
what do
down
you
in
think
Brazil,
about-
France, etc.
What do you think about the ideas that which is floated around a lot now about a universal bill of rights with tech? That there are universal rules which have to be adhered to globally, so that countries can't make these individualistic laws.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's
not
I
a
a
don't
bad
think
idea.
I don't think it would ever work.
well,
No way.
they're trying to promote it as being a basic human right. They're saying you have a human right to this
would never
technology.
happen.
It's hopeful, but it's too far gone.
It'll never
I
happen.
think what we're seeing is selective punishment. And
Well, the
if you're
United States
not-
would have to spearhead it and be really aggressive on people
would they?
joining in, like
Or
almost like
Europe.
NATO.
Or Europe, yeah, but this is what's being floated around that I've seen as being a possible safeguard to this idea that if you create, because the big thing is, if these alternative technologies are going to continue to exist, they're going to accelerate. People are going to begin
Sure,
making
yeah.
more and more and more of them. And your risk of not being able to utilize these technologies because the people who invent them might go to jail based on your local government entrapping them like this, this will become more prominent. You're going to have some kind of offset. And so this is what I see floating around as the potential offset to it. Do I think it'll happen? Absolutely not. But I did want to get your take on what you thought about it.
I think it would be a good idea to protect some of these guys because it's crazy that they're holding them liable for the actions of people that use their platform. Like, there needs to be some semblance of protection for them, offering people the ability to speak freely. I guarantee you the reason, though, why they went after him is because they probably sent some demands. Hey, we need access because XYZ. We need to be able to, intercept stuff like that. And he probably told them to fuck off. And that's what it is. Because I'll tell you guys this from my personal experience working in law enforcement. Facebook, Meta in general, and all these like social media platforms, they have what's called law enforcement portals.
Yeah.
So you're able to go and contact them directly. They have a whole team that just deals with law enforcement, where you contact them and say, hey, I need a subpoena on XYZ account, whatever, and they will go ahead and make it available to you pretty freely if you have court documents, whether it's a search warrant, a subpoena, whatever it may be. What I'm thinking with Telegram is more than likely is they weren't cooperative with the French government on maybe some investigations, and they're like, you know what, fuck that. We need to get this guy
So
in jail.
you're not thinking more conspiratorially that there's anything.
I mean, that is a conspiracy.
Well, I mean, but
Right? That is a
that this
conspiracy.
isn't something more like in terms of like the U.S. coordinating with NATO. Like this is some.
I wouldn't be surprised if the United States wasn't annoyed with it and had
because
also dealt with
here's
this too.
oftentimes how it works is that you're right. We have the First Amendment, which was like was written in a long time ago, okay? So it's a huge inconvenience for the people who rule us here in the United States. So what they end up doing is to target American citizens. This actually happened to my boy Jackson,
Yeah. I
He's,
don't even think this guy's American. Can we pull him up real quick? I think he's Russian, if I'm not mistaken.
They'll target you in
But-
foreign countries. They'll put you on the Ukraine kill list. They can't kill you here. They'll arrest you in the Europe for violating their speech laws or something. They'll hire Colombian mercenaries like they did against Jackson to hunt you down in Venezuela.
Oh, yeah. They try to kill him in Venezuela.
Right. So this is the game that they play. They're using their puppet governments abroad to do what they don't have the legal ability to do here. And to me, social media is a form of sovereignty. And people critique China's censorship system and stuff that they have. They only allow their own social media companies to have a foothold there. But it's like, if you want to be a sovereign government that's independent, I think that social media companies should actually just be treated as an extension of the state sovereignty, honestly. Europe doesn't have its own social media. India doesn't, a lot of countries don't. They're totally dependent on U.S. big tech. And Telegram, now...
But
Telegram,
how would that work, though, for the adoption of these technologies?
What do you mean?
Well, because people own them. Like, people have ownership of these technologies. Wouldn't you
mean that
essentially...
are patented?
Yeah, wouldn't you essentially have to steal these technologies in order to do that?
It depends on how much you care about intellectual property. I personally don't care about
so
it.
Just steal their tech and adopt it for your state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I was saying like
communists and ownership is just this.
Yeah, intellectual property. Come on. Anyway,
the government owns this now. It's not yours.
Yeah.
It's not yours.
Yeah, but Telegram, I think was that actually a Russian company that's in
Let's pull it up
Russia?
real
Or?
quick.
Yeah, it is Russian.
It's Russian.
Yep.
It's a Russian company.
can we look that up?
But I think this is
Well, at least the person who
Bills?
invented it's Russian.
Pull up
Yeah,
Telegram?
sure.
Yeah.
this is pretty simple though. He didn't bend the knee. Let's be real here. He didn't bend the knee to
I
the
think that's
government.
why he got
and as a
arrested,
result, he was put on the selective punishment list. And granted, every company that has these type of, like, I want to say, appeals you can get, for example, you can post, you can say whatever you want. There's a line that if you cross, you're going to be penalized. But as a result of him not bending the knee, he's what? A target. That's all it really is, bro.
Yeah, I think what it was is he just basically didn't give certain governments what they wanted.
What they wanted.
Commonly, okay, let's see here. It was August 2013. So since 2013, it was founded in 2013 by Nikolai and Pavlov.
it's in the UAE.
Darg. Okay, Telegram is the most popular instant messaging application in parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa. As of 2024, registration of Telegram requires a smartphone and/or a limited number of NFTs issued in December. As of July, it had 950 million monthly active users, with India leading in a number of users. Let's see here. Where's it like based out of? Is it headquartered in Tortola, British Virgin Island? That's legal domicile.
Oh yeah, that's clever.
Dubai, United Arab
Taxes.
Bombocrat!
Tax, man.
And then obviously he lives in Dubai.
Yo, what about the shorty that he was with though?
We could go to her real quick. I actually posted about this.
You know, this, if you go down, I don't know if it was going to say, this doesn't actually tell us if it's connected to the Russian government. Let me see this. St. Petersburg.
I don't think it is, bro.
We could click his
You
name.
don't think it is? Okay.
I think because Putin wanted to get control of it and he didn't want to do it either.
Click
okay.
his name. Click Pavlov's
I
name.
heard something like
It's
that.
very-
I think he owns a couple of Pavlov Durov. Click his name right there.
It's very independent. I don't think Putin
Yeah,
has
here
a
he
role in
is.
it.
He's a Russian business executive, entrepreneur, investor. What citizenships is he? Okay, so he was born in the Soviet Union, and in '84. Let's see here. So citizenship, he has Soviet Union, Russia, St. Kitts, and Nevis. He paid for that one for sure. He has a UAE one in France.
Well, he's worth 11.5
Oh, he's a French
billion.
citizen. I
He's a
didn't know
French
that.
citizen.
When you have that
too.
kind of money, bro, you want to
Damn.
Yeah, 11.5
legally
billion.
avoid taxes. Legally, you
No,
wanna,
net worth of 15.5 billion. So I'm sure somebody's hand's going to get greased for him to walk out of France.
Yeah.
I wonder how much passports he has.
He's got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just off that alone.
Hey, he's smart, man.
I'm not surprised though. The Europeans typically hold 1 or 2 different
Yeah,
citizenships.
it's common. Yeah.
It's actually very common, and they all speak different languages too. The whole concept of only speaking one language, guys, to be honest with you, is like an American thing. Like you're looked at as an idiot everywhere else in the world if you only know one language. It's only in America where we're like English only. Can we go to
Our friend of honor.
Yeah, let's go. We're going to cover the girl that he was with because I think this is important and should be noted too. I noticed that this and it wasn't really covered too much. The woman that he was traveling with, this chick, right? During his trips to Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Azerbaijan, Pavel Durov was accompanied by 24-year-old crypto coach, LOL, and streamer Yulia Vavilova, who resides in Dubai, and was also with him at the time of his arrest in Florida. Up until August 24th, she had been actively posting photos on social media from Durov's private jet and various locations where he was present. You know, I commented on this. Scroll down. Does this show my thing? My comment?
Yo, I gotta know though. She got asked or no?
We got her Instagram up, I think.
What do you think, bro? She got asked or no?
This is her.
I mean, I gotta be, family friendly, but the answer is no. Okay, so
Bro, she got no ass, my nigga. That's an L, bro. Just saying.
Look, so I'll just keep it at that with y'all, bro. Like,
No booty.
you know, when you're in Dubai, right? You're in the UAE,
That's
and you
angles.
see
That's
girls,
Photoshop angles.
and you see girls from the from Eastern Europe. There, you should definitely raise an eyebrow because a lot of times they're working girls. If you guys know what I'm saying, that's the one thing I didn't like about the UAE when I was there. Went there twice.
They're all
Yeah, bro.
prostitutes.
A majority of them, bro,
Dude,
are.
I
It's
kid you not.
fucking crazy, especially
Swear-
if you're in the Jumeirah Palm
5 pound
area.
Jumeirah? Bro, we
Terrible.
walked in there, right? I'm like, okay, there's some baddies in here. Bro, you go talk to them? Yeah, Poppy, so how much you want?
Well, they don't say poppy.
Well,
That's
sorry.
Colombia.
Well, some of them were there from Colombia. No. Remember, there were two
they say
Colombian girls
Habibi?
by the bar. Remember with Sterling? They're from Colombia. And some from Miami too.
They're gonna say.
The point is, you go to that hotel,
remember if they
whatever,
were Colombian, but-
bro. They're working actively, every single day.
I suggest for anyone
Bring your
that
own
is
girls.
if you're gonna
BYOG.
go stay in if you're gonna go to Dubai, like
Yeah.
don't stay in the Palm area,
At
Palm
least, yeah.
Jumeirah, because that's where all the the working girls are. And if you want to pay for a box, that's cool. But like I hate that.
Oh,
shit.
Is that
Sure.
about like that Palm Island?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because all
Yeah.
the hotels and stuff are there, and that's kind of where
Was
like
that the man-made thing?
yes,
Yeah.
No. Well,
Isn't it?
yeah, I think so. Well, they do have a man-made for residential, but
Yeah.
there is also the area where the tourists are, where all the hotels are at.
So the story here is that she sold him out, or what
I
happened?
think they haven't suspected. They haven't said that openly, but she was traveling everywhere with him and is like a typical bimbo. She's like taking pictures.
Was he actually a fugitive? Like that was on the run?
I don't think he knew that he was under
being hunted.
He got tricked.
Okay.
He got
under
tricked.
indictment. Yeah.
He was told to come to dinner with the president.
And I
my
guarantee
understanding
you, they
was
were tracking her phone the whole time.
I thought he did know that he had a warrant. Thought I had read that he did know that he had a warrant, and
No way.
And they told him to come anyway. So
But hold on,
no,
if
be
the
no big
president
deal.
of that country is telling you to come,
Yeah,
I mean that's a given.
Yeah, he tried to
should-
deny it, but regardless, this is what I'll say. I'm confident that they were tracking that girl's telephone and or social media because she was posting everywhere and she was with him.
I have a question. If you're a billionaire of that status, should your girl be recording where you're at all times, like that, posting on social media?
What's that?
Should
There's
your
no
girl
doubt.
be posting your location if you're that status of a billionaire?
I mean, it's a violation of privacy. Compromises the privacy.
is that his girl?
But
or is that,
he had to
is
have
that his
known,
girl,
though,
or is that
Smashing,
just some
bro.
fucking chick he's plowing?
smashing,
I don't know.
bro.
It might be his girl. I don't know.
But the thing is if it's his girlfriend, or I don't know what his rules are with that. You know what I mean?
Look, if he didn't know he was a fugitive and he was being hunted or whatever, he didn't care. Why would he care?
Yeah, that's true.
Still, bro.
I mean, still, probably if you have that kind of notoriety and net worth, you probably don't want people to know where you're at.
Exactly.
Do you think that she gave away his location? Is that like confirmed?
That's what the speculation. That's what he's saying.
maybe inadvertently or.
But
purposely, but we
wasn't
don't
he
know.
walking himself into France to meet with the French president?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they definitely could have been tracking. Well, probably his stuff too, but like she doesn't make it easy. She doesn't help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the same shit that happened with PB Rock, right?
Yeah.
When he got killed, girl posting where they were at and shit. So it's like,
Or maybe he didn't know. Because sometimes they'll like sneak into take a photo here. But still, that's kind of messed up, though.
yeah, girls gotta always document where they're at, bro. It's
Yeah, I'm
crazy,
not
man.
sure that she didn't. I mean,
Stupid.
Haas makes a really compelling case here, right? Which is the president called him and he flew in. I don't know why she was necessary, right?
Yeah.
She probably wasn't necessary.
Maybe they're checking where he was at before because they knew where he was at. They were saying all these places that he was at, but
Either way, he was tricked.
Yeah.
I got arrested. But my question is he going to be released, you think, or no?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
You think so?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what they want from him. If the condition of
those
his
look
release,
like pretty serious charges. I think if he does get released, they're going to take his passport away.
Yeah.
Or
That
passports.
So that I agree with.
yeah.
If he does
Okay,
get
but
released.
if the French government, if the Macronian government can put him out on a $500 million bail, they will.
You know what I think? They're going to tell him, say, hey, do X, Y, Z. If not, you're staying in jail. Ultimatum.
I
Does
don't
he?
know how
Does he
French
still? He
law
retains
enforcement
control of
works.
the company still.
He probably at this point when you're that high up, bro, you
Yeah.
got people running the day to day. You're just chilling
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sitting in
That's why it would have been
ice
more
baths and shit, which is
convenient.
what he does.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
the-
his
It's a
routine.
self-running machine.
It would have been more convenient if the Russian government controlled it. That way, he could not be used by the French government to.
I think that would
Maybe.
hurt him
Well,
more.
didn't
If
he
it was
just
run
get a
by
call
the
from
French,
the-
French and Russians don't get along like that.
No. I'm saying because now they could tell him like, okay, you have to make these changes to your platform as a condition of your release and us taking the charges off you. You have to change your policies and on Telegram and
That's a fucking problem, man.
yeah,
It's
it's a strong possibility.
yeah. No, I mean it just sucks. I mean this is an attack on free speech. I think everybody needs to like. I actually tweeted this. Chris Pavlovsky said like, hey, you got to boycott France, and I'm like, yeah, fuck France, like because this is the thing. It starts with this, and then it's a slippery slope that just gets worse and worse and worse.
The question is free speech still alive?
No,
I think it's dead. It's been dead.
no.
What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, of course.
Free speech has only
It's
ever.
always been limited anyway.
Yeah.
But now it's worse. Well, and it's going to get worse and worse.
But we got to
worse.
fight to preserve it.
Free
man.
speech was
It's
always
limited, but yeah,
Free speech was always just a question of how loud you are and who hears you.
yes,
That's always the parameters that have defined your ability to have speech. And what we call free speech is just a limited extent to which you're confined to a limited audience and a limited ability to have them hear you and what you're allowed to say and so on. And every time the line has been crossed, free speech rights meant nothing. They've always been thrown out the window.
Well, your ability to speak freely is 100% contingent upon your audience and your influence. If
Yeah, absolutely.
if you're extremely famous,
Yeah.
you can't say certain things. Look at what they're doing to Andrew Tate right now.
See, back in
He's
the
been
day,
arrested for talking about this stuff.
Cable media used to be very centralized, very heavily controlled, you know, so that there was no issue of free speech for everyday people or whatever. But
For sure.
now we all have the reach that cable media used
Yeah.
to have, and that's why the First Amendment, they have to, get rid of it. That's why they're gonna completely, they're gonna throw it
You
aside.
look at all the biggest celebrities, right?
Well, I think what we're saying is that they already have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they have.
That's already
They have.
that's
Under the
already
radar.
been
And
done.
all but in name. When they make the step to in name, literally say no, there's no First Amendment, there's no Constitution. That's when things get interesting.
I mean,
Can you think of like one based A-list celebrity? I can't think of any.
no.
no.
I can't, and there's a reason for that.
Used to be Trump.
But to
yeah.
be fair, I have a hard time thinking
He wasn't,
of
but
any
I mean, he didn't
A-list
used to be that
celebrity.
base. Trump.
He kept it real though. He would just say what was on his mind.
But I mean, he was kind of a scumbag Democrat, kind of a typical New York, New York billionaire Democrat scumbag. And then what happened with him was, I mean, that escalator ride really did when he was just like, man, these Mexicans need to get the fuck out of here, right?
Isn't that
that was when people were like, they really do need to get the fuck out. These illegals really do need to get the fuck out of our
kinda based,
country.
though.
You're right. It's 100% correct. And then he started to see, well, wait a second, maybe this guy has some much better opinions. But I mean, he didn't always. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can be based for a period of time and then they'll shut you down to some degree or arrest you or whatever. That's just what I've realized is you can't be. This is why you look at someone like The Rock, right? Saw him on SmackDown saying all these crazy things, laid SmackDown on you, SmackDown Hotel, all this shit, the crazy one-liners. Then he becomes an A-list celebrity with all these movie roles, starts being like a fucking, like he doesn't have views on anything. Joe Rogan brought him on, bro, worst interview ever. Like, hey, what's your
But
thoughts on Palestine?
isn't it
Didn't say anything.
interesting that our government as a country goes around the world preaching free speech and civil liberties and saying, oh, we need to have open democracies and we need to have the free expression of ideas and all this stuff. And then meanwhile, everything is so tightly controlled
Yeah.
that, look, this is going to be controversial for me to say. I am 100% convinced that this is probably the most, in terms of restricting speech, controlled country in the world. In terms of how much is
think so?
done to limit and control speech.
You think America
on
compared to others?
on an institutional level?
I think the UK, bro. Gotta be UK, Canada.
I think
You get arrested for
here's
tips in the
why
UK.
it's worse. Here's why it's worse in the United States, in my view. It's because when the UK clamps down on it, it's like a legal thing. They do it overtly, right? So it's clear that okay, this person's speech is being limited because it's illegal because the government doesn't want them to say this. But when we're much more manipulated, we are also simultaneously given the illusion that all these celebrities and all the media that we're seeing is actually the free expression of ideas, and that's
Okay.
the content we're getting.
I see what you mean.
Like the censorship is invisible to it. It's
I see
starting
what
to
you mean.
become more visible.
Yeah, it's not in your
but,
face.
But the manipulation is very much like behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
and so
you know?
mean they have to allocate more resources to it?
Absolutely.
And so if you have to allocate more resources to it, then it's more oppressed even in the. But I think that that's the wrong way to look at it. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's like saying, well, okay, there you have none, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. So there's no resources allocated to it because you don't fucking get any. And here you get a bowl of gruel.
But at least
right?
people-
But we're going to give you the illusion that it's a steak. It's like, well,
But
there's
here's
still
the
gruel,
thing:
though,
people
right?
still at least have the benefit of having a better idea of what's going on, though. When you're censoring it overtly, at least I know, okay, this is what's being censored,
This is
and
coming.
you're not allowed to say this,
Yeah,
right? But here we don't have that. We don't even know exactly what they want people to say and what they're not allowed to say, and so on and so on. We're starting to have a better idea of this now because of the age of social media, and it's a kind of new niche. But for a long time, it's not exactly clear how much we're actually being controlled to us.
Yeah, there was an invisible line for a while that we didn't know. People crossed it. Now we're seeing the repercussions of what they did.
Well, because
We
there's
actually
social
don't
media
know.
now.
Yes.
Because now that there's social
Man.
media, they have to overtly sometimes draw the censorship lines. Versus before, when you had to be on a TV network. I remember back in the day, you had to be on TV to be famous.
Yeah.
Like, but now, what's crazy? YouTubers are more famous than A-list celebrities.
Streamers.
Yep.
A Kai Cenat could walk down the street and get more attention than an A-list celebrity that's in
100%.
a movie that's in theaters right fucking now.
Bro,
We've never had that before.
We were chilling with actors in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I kid you not. I got more people hitting me for photos and likes
Yep.
than these people. I'm like, damn, this is an A-list celebrity.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like streamers and YouTubers are bigger than.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
well,
if you
this-
look at the biggest streamers and YouTubers, they're bots. No, let's just be honest here. Kai Cenat is never going to talk about real shit. Logan Paul never going to talk about real shit.
That's
They're gonna
an
be
interesting
very,
thing.
They're going to be very
is-
botted. They're controlled.
But that's the interesting thing. It's like the Wild West. Like, how much is done to actually make sure that they're in line?
Sponsorships,
A lot.
money.
Well,
A lot.
but
yeah, like how much is actually
but
necessary?
I feel like if they could wake up at any moment on the flip of a switch, just go live and just fucking go crazy. And that risk was, I don't think it was as present for any other like celebrity before.
Oh, I see what you mean.
When the media was centralized, you know, in order to have a big spectacle, you could do something in front of paparazzi or something. You could record a video of yourself and send it to journalists.
but you're not going to be insane.
But it's like you're not going to be you're not going to be at the movies or on
Right.
cable TV
I see
doing
what you
some
mean.
crazy
They'll edit
shit.
it out.
Yeah.
So
A
for
streamer can go live.
the risk is so high. So like I wonder if they're doing a lot more to keep these people in line.
I'll tell you what they do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they do. With a lot of these people, and I've noticed this when we like interview, and I'm not going to say no names, but like they'll have a template of what they're going to talk about. They got publicists. They got people that tell them what they can and can't say. And then the other big thing too is that when they have these sponsorships, big ones, right? Like a Nike or anything else like that, like you have to say certain things to stay away from certain things. I hate to use Kai as an example, but let's use him as an example. He brought Kevin Hart on his shit.
Yeah.
As soon as he brought Kevin Hart on his show, I was like, all right, look, bro, goodbye to any freedom of speech or anything like that, because Kevin Hart is controlled, bro, 100%. You don't reach that level of fame unless they control you. That's just what it is. You want a Nike sponsorship, you want to make big money, etc. They have to have a certain image where you're going to be politically correct. You're not going to talk about issues that might be divisive, like voting or Republican or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Kai, he said
You
something
can
about like,
talk about
oh,
social
Kamala's
justice
people,
and that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. If anything, he talked about Kamala Harris' campaign, like reached out to him or whatever. Like he's gonna probably stay away from politics, and if he does get into it, he's gonna take the Kamala side more than
Right.
likely, because
But
that's more
can you
beneficial.
blame them though? I mean, put yourself in their position. They want to excel in the world, become more popular, make money. Why would you ruin your success by talking about things
because
that,
money isn't everything, man.
So-
money isn't
But
everything,
hold on.
bro.
As a kid that wants to excel in life, you can't really blame the kid, bro.
So here's a question I have. I know celebrities and hip hop artists, they don't actually have money. They're always kept on a leash where, they're never actually able to be independent and just fully retire and be like, I'm done with this. I made enough money. But when it comes to streamers and these new kinds of celebrities,
They're in charge.
Don't they have more independence?
Yeah.
Like they're like, all right, I made enough money. I have like tens of millions of dollars in my bank now. I quit. I'm done. I can do whatever the fuck I want now. Like, is there anything to limit that anymore, or how does that work?
I mean, I think like you look at someone like a Nick Merckx. He came out and said there's like 2 genders or something, and that
Yeah.
was like revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
And he got a lot of hit for that. And then Dr. Disrespect came out and agreed with him, and then they exposed him. So I think once guys make a certain amount of money, they kind of like are willing to more speak on these like hot button issues. But I mean, look, man, and this is the problem with social media is like what I've noticed. Call me a hater, whatever you want. The people that they push the most, a lot of the times, make idiotic content. Just call it like it is. Idiotic content that isn't thought provoking, that doesn't necessarily have
Well,
you
it's
thinking
kids.
or questioning
It's young
authority.
kids.
It's young kids,
It's
stupid
fun.
content.
Yeah.
It's moronic content, right? Like you look at Kai Cenat, Speed, etc. Like these guys, Aiden Ross, whatever. They're not talking about real shit 99% of the time. They're because the other thing too. And this is interesting. So Andrew Tate blows up, right? He's telling young men to go to the gym, be accountable, make money, don't be a fucking brokey, have more entrepreneurial mindset, fight back against the system. What happens? Censored, kicked off every single platform, right? Then you have like Kai and Speed doing this shit where we're going to do Minecraft or whatever for 24 hours, whatever. That gets pushed all over the place, right? Because I do genuinely believe that they have a strong incentive to keep young men stupid, dumb, and not aware of what the fuck is going on.
Well, if you look at YouTube, to play in your point, I think that YouTube would like to just get rid of all political content, period.
Yes, I agree
from
with that.
everybody.
Yeah.
And have their nail videos, their kitty cat videos,
Good point.
and their how to fix this dishwasher videos.
Yep.
Because they're all advertiser safe, and it makes them a fuckload of money, and they don't have to worry about any problems. There's nothing polarizing about here's how you do your nails, in blue. Nobody's going to freak out about that. So I think that they would prefer to get rid of all political content. And as the side effect of people going over to Rumble, they thought, man, YouTube's losing a lot of these kind of great political streamers who are making millions of dollars for YouTube. They don't give a shit. A drop in the bucket means nothing to them. And it does not, they are not in a million years going to lose $500 million a year advertising or advertiser, because the advertiser says, well, you showed my advertisement on a supposedly safe to watch video, but it was really an anti-trans political advocate, right? We're pulling out. We can't have that. YouTube is not going to allow that.
And
so
this is and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because Rumble's lawsuit actually exposed this. Garb or whatever the fuck they're called, this conglomerate of advertisers. They literally said, "Don't put our stuff on anything Steven Crowder or Alex Jones like." Mm-hmm. Well, we all know Steven Crowder and Alex Jones lean far more right? I'd consider them conservative political commentators, right? And if you're saying, "Yo, we don't want anything on that type of content," well, guess what? Everyone that leans right is going to be censored, and this is why we all know this. Right-wing political commentators almost always are more censored than left-wing ones. This is why if you look at all the top political commentators on the right are all on Rumble now. All of them. Even Daily Wire are on fucking Rumble. So that should tell you guys everything you need to know.
Well, it's not only that, but going back to something earlier that Fresh said that I wanted to get into, you said, we're kind of learning where the line is now for what is to be censored, what isn't, under these kind of... I don't think so. I think that it takes about a year for you to know if you crossed whatever this Rubicon was that you didn't even fucking know existed.
See,
and now you're past that Rubicon, and this big, huge, giant machine is mobilized against you, but it takes a long time to finally snap the jaws shut.
Hold on. When I say there's a visible line, it doesn't stop. It's always going.
Yeah.
And each new century segment or, for example, topic that comes up, you can cross that line. So it never ends. So to your point, but you know what's crazy about these companies, bro? It's all for profit. If you fuck up the bag for them, you're a problem.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And guess what? It's their platform. So if you don't comply, it's goodbye.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
What I've been able to observe is that for a long time, the anti-woke culture stuff was considered subversive, and that's okay. We're going to censor you because you're hurting people's feelings and you're offending them, and our workplace employees are getting upset about it and they're pressuring. But I feel like that dynamic is weakening. I'm even noticing the direction of the Democratic Party, and it seems like they're leaning a little less on the woke stuff now, and they're muting the volume.
Yeah, the sensible Democrats for sure. They're tired of it too.
So it seems to me that the real common denominator that they're really going to get you for and really want to censor you for is going to come to what you say about the foreign agenda, the foreign policy. When it comes to foreign words, I'm biased, obviously, because this is why I was banned from Twitch, but I kind of feel like my ban was a little unprecedented. I wasn't hurting anyone's feelings. I wasn't hateful. I wasn't bigoted. I wasn't saying anything crazy. I was just reporting on this foreign war in a way that was different from the way the mainstream media was.
But then how do you explain this happened to Dylan Burns? Dylan Burns gets banned constantly from YouTube for his pro-Ukraine position.
But how does he get banned?
Wow, he got banned for being pro-Ukraine.
Yeah.
I doubt that was the reason, though.
No, it's not. What happens is he's giving coverage.
Yeah,
and
so
there's
he's
certain
showing
words that you can't use.
Yeah,
and so you get caught up, right?
So that's just a bot that's automated that he's tripping over.
Yeah.
But in the case of me, we had an entire Washington, D.C. CIA-linked NGO that contacted Twitch and told them that me and Jackson have to be banned.
Yeah.
Right? Again, we're not saying...
But that's a different company now.
Right. I understand, but it's like they don't care. They don't even necessarily. They will compromise on culture war stuff if they have to, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a more long-term agenda, or whatever, but at least in the short term. But when it comes to information about the foreign agenda and the war agenda and the military-industrial complex and things like that, that is where you're really stepping over toes. That's where you're really tripping over the wire.
It's not just that. It's I understand what you're saying. That is gradually becoming more and more of a problem.
It's really, to me, the main common denominator. Because, look, even if you're a right-wing conservative, if you're fully aligned with NATO, fully, unless you're saying things that are crazy, like inflammatory, like the N-word or something like that, I don't think you're going to get as much flack.
Yeah, you still get banned for. Yep, you still get banned for going against LGBTQ stuff. You still get banned for going against the domestic cultural agenda as well. You still get banned for that just as much as you used to. It's still just as invasive. The only thing that they've really lightened up on is now you talk about COVID.
Twitch viewers, come on over to YouTube or Rumble. Come on over because Haz's band is. We forgot about that. Don't worry about it, bro.
Okay,
You're good. Don't worry about it. Twitch viewers, come on over. Go ahead. Sorry, Andrew. Go ahead. Continue.
I was just saying that. I think you still get banned for those things. I think the only thing they backed off on really was just the vaccine stuff.
But how does Ben Shapiro have a platform on YouTube? He talks about transgenders. He talks about all this kind of stuff.
It's the way in which he does it. Just like the way in which people will give social commentary on foreign affairs.
Right.
There's a way.
I don't think so. I think Jackson was very polite, and he was very much not trying to be edgy and shocking. I mean, and to be fair, I was a little like, Putin is good was on my Twitch thing. Like, I was being provocative, right? But he was on YouTube. He grew a way bigger platform than me.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, has a certain hat on, man.
I can tell you what is right now, bro, without even going into detail. He's with the agenda. Let me explain. People that are in those spots that are still on YouTube and still on these platforms, talk to people in a communication line that can say to them, okay, don't do this, do this.
Yeah, direct to YouTube.
It's open communication. You don't have that. So as a result, whatever you do is considered, he didn't talk to us, we don't fuck with him, just get him out of here. Ben can say, hey, listen, that was a mistake, I won't do it again, I'll do it right next time.
But there's also ways in which these things are communicated that are considered to be safe by these kind of establishment, and they use coded language, this type of thing.
The minute they get a whiff from DHS or whoever's telling them this shit that this is Russian propaganda, or this is Chinese propaganda. It's like that's
been like that
bomb.
for years now. It's been like that.
But I think the thing that's changed at least a little bit since the McCarthy era of the 1950s, at least, is like people who are not connected to the Russian government at all are being called Russian agents. People who are not connected to the Chinese government at all are being called, spreaders of Chinese misinformation.
That's the same thing as they called them conspiracy theorists. Right, people who didn't believe in any conspiracy, but they were called conspiracy theorists.
I don't think so. I don't think so because it's like they're treating you as they would like a foreign target and a foreign enemy. Even though you're a U.S. citizen, just because you have views that are repeated by someone in Russia somewhere.
Yeah, that might be a distinction, but they always did that, even with communists, right? They always did that.
In the 50s, but it's been kind of quite a while, a little bit.
Well, communism's also making a big resurgence. And or at least it was. BreadTube was making a big resurgence. Now BreadTube's dying off.
But what's something interesting about that is that
when communists make a resurgence, I think McCarthy was right.
Don't you think something interesting about that? We say the socialist ideas are gaining traction. More people are calling themselves socialists. They want free stuff or whatever. BreadTube. But then every 4 years, what happens? Guys, we need to vote Democrat. We need to vote Democrat. It's always just the Democratic Party. It's a way to trick young people who are dissatisfied with the Democratic Party and would otherwise break with it
into what we need to. Yeah.
And then what they're doing is they're just roping them back in to be Democrats, but they're saying, you get to call yourself a socialist, so you could feel more excited about it and feel like you're doing something different this time. But it's really just corralling.
I agree,
people.
But I mean, it follows why that would be so effective. It's just like, how else do we get to this agenda?
Yeah.
Without going for left, in that sense, they're right. How do you get to that agenda without using the political establishment, absent revolution, right?
No, I can't. Well, here's the thing. This is what I totally disagree with about. Would it not be? Why is it such an impossible feat to say, let's build a third party? Why is that so impossible?
Well, it's not impossible. People have tried it, and we've had third-party candidates who've won.
If all of these so-called young socialist voices, all of them pooled together with their Hassan Pike, or if they all use their resources to say, we actually want socialist politics, we want a third party, we're not going to do the Democrats rigged it against Bernie in 2015, we're going to have our own party, and that actually reflects the values that we talk about while we're on camera. Look, I'm not going to say they're going to get their president elected, but they could easily make an impact on American politics.
They would just be the Libertarian Party.
They would be even
leftists, but it would split. The reason they wouldn't do
bigger than that.
They'd say, "Listen, if you become the Libertarian Party for the left, then what's the Socialist Party?
Yeah."
You're going to split the vote of the Democrats, and Republicans are going to win.
Well, no.
That's what they'll say.
Listen. Let me tell you what will actually happen. Okay, so the minute anyone gets the idea to do that and talks about it publicly, they are immediately going to be called a Nazi, They're going to be called a Russian agent. They're going to be called a dangerous fascist or something, and they're going to be totally canceled, and suddenly you're going to find out, oh, this person is so bigoted and so racist and all these other kinds of things, and it's going to be totally squashed. And who's behind squashing it? Look, we don't have exact one-for-one proof, but it's 100%. It's 100% feds. It's 100% CIA. And if it's not CIA, it's at least some kind of organized, entrenched establishment, which is doing everything in its power to make sure that young people are going to be corralled into the established form of politics one way or another.
I'm just saying from the party perspective, it makes sense why they would do that.
Yeah.
It makes sense why they wouldn't want their vote split. It makes sense why they wouldn't want to lose the centralization that they have in power. I understand why they would make those moves. Now, I'm not saying that it's right? I'm just saying from the political perspective of these entrenched, powerful agents, it makes sense why they move.
We're kind of getting off topic, so please interrupt me if you want to.
No. I mean, it's an interesting discussion that's been brought up because there are people that align with that thinking.
And no, they're not going to make a socialist party. They're never going to allow a split vote.
I wanted to ask you. I was going to ask you. Do you think they rigged it against Bernie in 2015?
The Democrat Party?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, we were laughing at the time. I was watching it. I was laughing. I was like, fuck you, Bernie. You got fucked by the Democrats, scumbag. Listen, I thought it was hilarious.
I don't like Bernie right now. I think he's a total shill and he's a total sellout. But it's like he was standing on something that was, I think, left-wing in a way that, like the Democrats are not.
Yeah, a lot of support.
He did among young people, right? And it's
Joe
like
Rogan endorsed him, which is huge.
If you're gonna fucking rig it against him, why the fuck do any of these young people owe the vote to Democrats? The biggest scam they've been running, and Hassan Piker is 100% culpable in keeping it going, is telling all these fucking young people that they should still be pledging themselves to vote for Democrats, even though
they kicked him out of the DNC.
Yeah. The voice of this new, socialist generation, it was totally crushed ruthlessly, and all of the major influencers, they're all bought out. They're all bought and sold and paid for, and their job is to keep people hooked to the Democratic Party, to the establishment.
Well, yeah. Well, the idea of socialism within the Democrat Party has always just been lip service.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want real socialism because they would have to give up their fucking money.
They're all bought and paid for.
Yeah, they would have to give up their money. They don't want that shit. It's always been lip service in that regard. That's why we always laugh at communists and socialists. We're like, what do you find? These people don't want anything to do with that shit. They're powerful, elite, entrenched. They're not giving up their money. I don't see communists acting like communists. I don't see socialists acting like socialists. I see them say that they're socialist. I don't see them acting like
socialists.
Just like Bernie Sanders,
like Hassan.
If I have $1 and you have $1, I have $2, right? That's what Sanders did.
In my view, if he had integrity, he wouldn't have endorsed Hillary Clinton. And I'm saying we're treading old waters, and it's like, why are you still salty about this? I'm not salty about it. I'm just trying to say, like,
I mean, you sound a little mad about it.
Well, what kind of gets me a little upset is that we're always being, the left. There's a left. Hassan. Where's the left? All these people are just liberal Democrat shills. If they were a real left, they wouldn't have forgot about what happened back then. They would have done something about it and reacted to it in some kind of way.
Well, the problem is that the left keeps shifting left.
Well,
what's left today will not be left.
It's never constant.
Look. At the level of
they become more and more radical.
At the level of culture, they're definitely becoming more extreme.
Yeah.
But what are they compensating for? And to me, it's like they're moving away simultaneously from the bread and butter issues that are considered left-wing, that matter, like economic sovereignty.
Yeah, all that matters to leftists
and it's like
social issues.
They're doing that.
I mean, look right now, Kamala Harris. She's literally campaigning off of abortion is her biggest talking point. That's her biggest thing, and that's what they do. Is they almost always campaign off of feelings, race politics, and social issues.
See, the reason I have a little bit of sympathy for some of these, left-wing young people, students, as stupid as they are and libtarded as they are, a lot of these people are students who are in debt. They have no future. They have no prospects whatsoever. And the whole, we're going to forgive the student loans, we're going to forgive, your debt and shit that was being promised them, they actually believe that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy how all of these
but then they became right-wingers.
Well,
when they grow up.
Some of them do. Yeah, oftentimes they
when
do.
they're like, oh, wait, you weren't really going to do that. You just lied to us? And
exactly.
we're like, welcome to the right wing.
No. Actually, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
They realize it was all a lie, and then immediately they go straight to the right wing.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's an interesting question you have to ask yourself. That is also preventing the possibility of them standing on the business of what, they were seeking to before. Like the thing that's still lost and missing from the equation is the actual bread and butter left-wing politics.
Yeah, because neither side wants communists and socialists. Neither side wants that.
You sound salty, my nigga. Just keep it real. So salty.
I mean,
neither side wants communists and socialists. I totally agree with that. And I'm sure that built into their systems, there's every way they can to suppress the idea of you ever becoming a communist or socialist. Neither side likes them.
No, I agree. I just wish there was more honesty about that, on the so-called leftist, influencers and all these. I wish they would just admit that to their audiences.
But aren't most
Hassan
leftists
admits it. He says he's a socialist, but like we all know he's a champagne socialist.
Yeah.
Like, he's got
but
buying
it's like
Porsches and lives in a $3-4 million house.
Imagine if Hassan was like Destiny, where he's just like, yeah, I'm a Democrat shill. I just like Joe Biden and whatever. It's like I don't feel like he would have the edge or the popularity that he does. He's keeping people on a false hook, like promising them something and pretending to have a politics that he really just doesn't have.
Yeah, but most of these guys, I mean, ultimately, you know this, especially having run in those spaces for as long as you did. Most of these guys are just status quo advocates.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I didn't mean to derail all the.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. We'll move to the next story.
They're all status quo advocates.
We got Andrew Tate next, I believe.
Is that what's up next?
Or what's next, Bills? No, I think that's it, right?
No, we have RFK.
Oh, yeah,
chats as
RFK.
well.
Shit, we got to do RFK.
Chats too as well.
And then we'll hit the chats as well. All right. Well, let's hit chats first, then we'll do RFK. And then, did you have an entry? I just wanted you to finish off your thought.
Oh,
Or you
no. I was just saying that that most of what you consider the left, I understand what Haas is saying. He's saying what is real socialism, what is real communism is never given a chance. Not that I'm upset about that, but he's right. It isn't.
I mean, even forgetting that, just real, actual left-wing politics. Like even shit. Let's just like let's forgive student loan debts. Like let's actually do that.
Yeah,
I know. I agree with you that left-wing politics is absolutely dominated by social issues. It's almost never dealt with. It almost never actually highlights
because
economic
it's unpopular.
stuff.
The other things are unpopular.
And when
also,
you
they don't care.
And I would argue that the economic portions are actually where a lot of their strengths lie, not the social
definitely.
issues.
100%.
But they always focus on the social issues because the problem is that, like, let's just be honest here, a lot of people on the left want handouts. So if you go ahead and you're like, oh, we're going to deal with these social issues, which puts you in a position of power and you're able to get money or whatever, and we're going to protect these certain rights of yours. That's what they do because women and minorities tend to look for social stuff more than economic stuff.
No, the handout angle is definitely 100% real. But it's like, at the same time...
Free abortions at the DNC.
Yeah.
They were giving free abortions and vasectomies at the DNC. They were, they were campaigning on abort. Like she spent a whole day. The first full day of the DNC was talking about abortion. And it's interesting. Like, they brought a couple women to talk about abortion, and all of them cited examples of abortion where it was, I was going to die with a miscarriage, premature baby, blah, blah, blah.
Even in like Taliban's Afghanistan, they'll make an exception for you in those cases.
Yeah, like if you're going to die or something like that, they'll give an abortion. So like they gave the most, or sexual assault.
Right,
they gave all these extreme examples of where abortion is like needed, etc. But it's like, okay, that's cool, but like, let's be honest here, majority of women that get abortion get it because of bad reproductive choices with the wrong guy.
No shit.
And the other thing too is that like, I love how like the left, the DNC, they just kept saying that Trump wants to ban abortion. No. And this is what JD Vance has to talk about this in every fucking interview. Hey, are you guys going to get rid of abortion federally? No. They're just going to delegate it to the fucking states. But these guys keep trying to say, oh, well, Trump and them are trying to take it away. They're not. Like, these people need to go ahead and get mad at their governors and their local government. Yes. Most Americans aren't even aware.
But you know how stupid they are?
Yeah, they believe that.
Roe v. Wade was repealed under Biden. So it's like, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah,
you know?
I know, dude. It's well, they blame because their argument is the justices were Trump appointees.
But then why did they tell everybody to go vote for Biden in 2020 if it was already too late?
Bro, you have to realize our population, most of it is going to be stupid, bro.
No, 100%.
Oh, another thing too that I've noticed. A lot of people are and especially with women, I've noticed they're single issue voters.
Yeah.
So like what they're doing is, and I've noticed this because someone went over to the DNC and did a great experiment on this. He said, would you vote someone in that would tank the economy if they allowed you to keep your reproductive rights? Almost all the girls said, yeah. Well, as long as we get reproductive rights, that's what matters over everything. So that proves, yeah, dude. Like, and I know it's crazy to say that, but it's like that's how important. And that's why the Democrats lean so heavily on fucking abortion, bro. And they keep saying that Trump is trying to take it away.
You appeal to women's emotions. What do you get? Results.
Look, there's a wisdom. There's a wisdom in this country. There's two things that will drive the electorate. Two things: take away the abortion, take away the guns.
Yeah,
those are the two things that are going to drive people.
Those are the two most polarizing things, for sure.
Those are the things where, like, you don't go for people's guns, you're going to get a backlash. Don't go for the abortion thing, there's going to be a backlash. Those two things are what's going to upset the American population, poking the beehive.
Well, the parallel here is actually interesting. Haas brings up. You remember the assault weapons ban? We had you probably don't remember, but there was an assault weapons ban under Clinton.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it was massively unpopular. It was a huge mistake. All the
was this after Columbine? No.
When this was a long time ago.
Okay.
It swept all of the Democrats out of office, and Clinton said, "Okay, this was a terrible mistake." But as soon as they possibly could, they got the assault weapons ban repealed because it was just not a good policy, a good national policy, and people fucking hated it.
I wonder what stimulated that. Was it Waco, or because this is the 90s, got to be, because that's when Clinton was in 90s. So it must have been Waco or one of these other crazy shootings.
I don't remember what the context was. I was a little kid, right? Yeah. But anyway, it's reminiscent to me of what's going on with abortion right now, which is the same thing, right? Oh, we have this abortion policy, which is vastly unpopular, and then here's the Republicans suddenly scrambling to, well, we want to distance ourselves a little bit from that. Nope, it's really about bringing it back to the states. We didn't really want it to go this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, they got to balance different electorates, because what's something that actually drives one of the electorates to go vote? The evangelicals, who are all about the abortion. The only reason Republicans give a shit about abortion, it's not because they actually fucking care. They don't care. They don't give a shit.
It's because the base is Christian.
It's because specifically the evangelical base, really does care about it.
And the Catholic base.
A lot of evangelicals and Catholics too, they don't give a fuck about politics. They don't care about it. But if they hear, they're going to ban the abortion, they're like, okay, I'll go vote for them, and they don't have to hear anything else. That's it.
Yeah, abortion is a very it's one of those, what I say, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah,
deal with it. Immigration too. So it's like it's very tough. And I think Trump actually made a smart move by delegating it to the states. We're going to focus on real federal issues. You don't agree?
No,
you don't think
so? I think that Trump should have said, Project 2025, I love it.
I agree with you. Should have said that.
Get these fucking immigrants out of here. By the way, we're building the wall 5 times higher this time, right? As high as we can possibly get it. I think he should have said, they haven't done enough to outlaw abortion. We need to take it all the way. He really needed.
This is why Project 2025 was.
He really needed to double down.
If he had said make abortion great again, he would have won.
He needed, dude. What he needed to do was double down on all of these policies. If he had doubled down on all of his original policies, and he doubled down and said, no, we're going to stay the course, even if it costs us everything. Abortion is out of here. We still would have been able to take this thing.
You think so?
If he would double down on
a lot
everything.
of these women are coming in and voting for Kamala because she's going so hard on
You're underestimating
rights.
Women's feelings.
I don't underestimate
and votes
and the population of women that they are in America.
Look, it's always going to be a narrow election now. Always, okay? But Democrats have the numbers over the Republicans. They just do. The thing is, though, is that you can still appeal to the white working class man. You still can, even though people have kind of forgotten that this electorate exists. It does exist. And if you appeal to them and say, hey, look, right, you are still the majority, right? You are still the majority here. You can go out and vote for these issues which still matter to you. They don't want abortion. They want to keep their guns, right? They want good economic policies.
But Republicans have always had those policies you're talking about, and that never got the white working class man out to vote. I think the thing that was...
That's because... No. They didn't really. Because when they would come out, they would say, we want immigration reform, we want this type of thing.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
They didn't really have the policies.
The main thing that Trump touched on and this includes the immigration stuff, but it's broader. It's not just immigration. It's NAFTA. It's the trade agreements.
Yep.
It's the trade deals,
Yep.
right? It's the industrial policy.
Well, it's no more. What he touched into was no more.
Yeah, well, he was basically saying he's going to return the jobs back. He's going to have an industrial policy.
Yep.
And he's going to bring manufacturing back to the United States.
Domesticated.
That is really what tapped into it, I think. You know, I think all the other stuff that was exciting on the internet and stuff, that was kind of, you know, you're from Michigan just like me, and so you know this as well. It's like that is really what really brought him into the
base. Rust Belt. Well, it's not just that. It was the idea of, could we get back to a status where one person in a family really could make enough
make enough to
take care
support
of the
everyone.
family, where you could buy a new car every couple of years because it's domestic manufacturing. Now you're working at that big Delphi car plant, and when you're working there, they give you a free car every 3 years, right?
That's what it is.
That's what it moved into. I agree with that 100%.
See,
but I also think that the double down on these positions, the illegal immigration, no more of that.
I think. Look, sometimes when you double down on the politically incorrect stuff, that is a way to signal to your base, like, I don't care what these people say. I'm not going to be bought by them. But if that's all you have to offer, I do think you are going to be
echo chamber.
You're going to be ostracized. You're going to be considered weird, and you're going to mobilize all the young people to destroy you as the villain. And you're not really, if you don't offer that substantive thing you just mentioned, which is, you know, like the bread and butter issue, right, that people actually care about, it's not going to be given the necessary context.
I think it's a combination. I think you need to have this combination. The reason I think that you need that is I don't think people think that the American dream is achievable. When you talk about NAFTA, you're talking about outsourcing. That's what immigration is. Yeah. It's the idea of now we're outsourcing our own population.
I think going hard on that is totally smart. I agree. Going hard on that is like, go as far right as you want. But I would say the abortion thing, just because I know how moderate people are and how most people don't identify as religious and most people identify as secular, I think Trump's position on abortion is smart from a strategic standpoint to say, you know what, states, you guys fucking deal with it.
I don't remember.
Because here's the thing. Kamala's campaign is running off of saying Trump is anti-abortion.
Do you remember?
That's what they're running on.
But you know the problem is, though?
And that's how they're gaining votes.
Women will say...
And then women vote a lot, too.
Women will say...
If we repeal the 19th, though, then
it's still Trump's fault, even though he gives it to the states. So that's the issue here.
But if the claim...
Well, do you guys...
hang on 1 second, if you don't mind. If the claim, though, here is... Well, women are so easy to influence and so stupid when it comes to the electorate that they'll basically believe anything. Even if Trump takes this position of moderation, there's no reason for me to think that women won't believe that he's anti-abortion because the fucking Democrats say he's anti-abortion.
I don't remember.
You're right. I
don't remember that 100%. Well. I could be sounding really fucking stupid right now, but in 2016. Was abortion the hot topic of that election?
I don't think as much as it is.
I don't remember it at all being a hot topic.
Do you want to know why?
Immigration, Muslim ban.
They were claiming like the way that they were scaring people is they're like, Trump he's a crazy guy. He's a racist. He's inexperienced. He's gonna World War III. We can't let this guy win. He's a clown.
Yeah, nuclear war.
I don't remember them leaning too much on the abortion thing. And I think you're right.
You want to know why abortion is so big this time? Because Kamala's a female.
Well,
that's why. It
was already before we even knew that she was going to be the candidate.
Yeah,
it was already a big deal.
No, I think it's because they discovered.
But I think her being a woman has exacerbated it.
Well, I think look, Hillary
and a black woman too.
Yo, this is the first time they have a chance to elect a woman as a president where they can identify with her on so many levels.
Well,
but I think
she's exacerbated that topic.
If you look at
she's gonna win, bro.
She's gonna win.
I believe she's gonna win, bro.
You guys think so too?
100%, bro.
See, look, Trump.
How's she gonna lose?
They're not ever going to let the fucking Trump in there, bro.
They won't.
Never fucking, no way.
No, again.
Yeah.
That nigga's cooked.
It's like, I mean, Hillary was a woman too, right? And it's like they discovered an Achilles heel from Trump. A really unpopular thing about Republicans from the pre-Trump Republican Party era was the abortion stuff. Like, everyone knew that. Trump was kind of casting, he's not a traditional Republican. He's winning the blue collar, Rust Belt, what do they call him? Something Democrat, former Democrats or whatever. And these people are kind of a little more moderate on social issues.
You mean like the blue dog?
The
blue dog
whatever.
Democrats or whatever?
They're a little more moderate on the social issues. So Trump was not going in the extremes in that direction, right?
Yeah.
But they discovered how much they could animate all these young, like, brainwashed people about abortion and these social issues, Roe v. Wade or whatever, the repealing of Roe v. Wade, and how much that caused a backlash.
That's why it's so important now.
That's why they're leaning into it now, because they realized we could hit him on the thing that actually is his Achilles heel, which he didn't even have to worry about in 2016.
Well, right. Well, because there was a policy switch here, and it was done by his Supreme Court justices. This policy switch can now be blamed on him because it's his Supreme Court justices which tipped the favor here. So they are attacking him on this. It is a legitimate form of attack because one of the promises of these Supreme Court justices was that this was probably going to happen.
Bro,
this was probably going to happen.
Bro, I think Trump is a mission impossible. How is he going to win this, bro? How?
Well, there's no energy now.
Dude, it's like he's a dead walking.
He should have taken. He took a fucking bullet. He could have wrote his ticket that night, dude.
Yeah.
He could have gone out and he could have had the speech of all speeches and been like, "They tried to kill me, these motherfuckers. They tried to kill me. We're going to destroy everything."
I was at his first speech at the RNC after, and I'll tell you guys, he could have done better.
Yeah.
Look, at the end,
literally at the RNC. That was his first speech back at the RNC, Milwaukee, fucking, Wisconsin. He could have went hard on that speech. Man.
Yeah.
But do you think the Trump of 2016 that didn't go through all the bullshit can be the same Trump today? I don't think
Fresh is right, because
the way he went through, bro, was pure sabotage of the mind and body. Any human being, any man of stature going through that bullshit will be hurt, bro.
No.
He's tied up in the courts right now.
Bro.
They got him by the balls.
Another one.
He's totally unable.
fucked, bro.
I would give you the concession that he's a changed man, but I wouldn't give you the concession that he could not be the same as he was in 2016. He could. He's just not. Because I think ultimately, and it's very possible that he's been approached and told, if you lose this, but it just looks like you really tried hard, right? But you lose this thing, all this goes away.
I have a question.
This goes away.
Why do you think he's going to go to jail if he doesn't?
Andrew,
if he doesn't win?
If you were Trump, could you deal with all that bullshit and still be the same person? Answer that question.
No.
Well, he's not. We know this.
But that's what I'm saying. Who in the right mind could be Trump right now and still be the same Trump?
I think that their psyche would be beat up, but I think that he could still have the same energy, policy. You can see him holding back. When I watched the debate, I remember with Biden.
Yeah.
I turned to my wife and I'm like, I can tell that this guy wants to just fucking trounce this idiot.
Yeah.
So and be
Andrew,
like, stuttering Joe, you fucking moron. You can't even make a sentence. You know what I mean?
Opinion on this, because you're from Michigan and you probably come from the communities. People tell me
Big battleground state.
that one of the things that regular people didn't like about Trump, I'm talking about elderly people, whatever, is although they liked him and they wanted to vote for him, when he was doing all the things we found hilarious, like going on TV, bullying people, and calling them names and shit.
Wrong.
They didn't like that shit.
It's true.
It turned them off.
But it did not deter them when vote day came for voting for him.
But I think he kind of realized that that's one of the things that makes him not liked as much by his base. As much as it's counterintuitive to us, because that's what we like him for. He's hilarious, right? But he realized he wants to be more respectable and more serious and more presidential. Because,
and that'll take all the things that made him worth voting for. And fucking.
Well,
You know what I think? What hurt Trump too as
politician.
well? This whole brigade of him being publicly caught as a criminal or seen as a criminal, people that weren't even haters of Trump are like, damn, I'm gonna let criminal run my country? Hell no. And just that alone, with also his current policies and his abortion rights or whatever. That right there, bro, was a nail in the coffin, I think, for Trump.
I don't think that
He can still win. I'm not as much
Trump
of a
being a
doomist as-
felon. I don't think anybody gives a shit.
I'll
about
tell you
that.
how he's going to win. So here's the thing. He just got Tulsi Gabbard to endorse him and RFK, which actually, let's go ahead and switch over to the next topic here. We're going to talk about RFK here. And for those of you guys that don't know, that's Robert F. Kennedy Jr., son of Robert F. Kennedy Sr., who was killed, I think, 1968 by Sirhan Sirhan, which... We're on YouTube, so I won't go much further than that. But you guys already know what we know who killed him. You don't want to do chats first? Let's go to the RFK story, then I'll read chats after.
Yeah.
All right, let me at least read it, and then Michigan denies RFK's escape from presidential ballot. Right. So as you guys know, RFK last week endorsed Trump. He went out. I forget what city he was in, but he came in. He gave a speech. RFK was talking about really going hard after the FDA, the big pharma, etc. He feels as though our children are less healthy than they were before. We have problems, which I agree with him on. especially with the whole vaccine situation. So he's gonna, and he took his name off of the 10 top battleground states, right? And he did that obviously so that those votes can go towards Trump, and he's endorsing him, and he's actually going to campaign with him as well, from what I understand. But he got a lot of heat from the Democratic Party, and some of his family members even turned on him, saying that they disown him and they're angry about it, etc. Because you guys know Kennedy's whole family, his uncle John F. Kennedy, his father. They're all historically Democrats.
Yeah.
So for him to, I think he was an independent, right? Because the Democratic Party wouldn't accept him, if I'm not mistaken. They blackballed him. He was an independent, ran as an independent, and then now he's going ahead and supporting Trump, which obviously Republican, so that's a big deal for them. But RFK Kennedy's name will still appear on the Michigan ballot despite suspending his campaign last week. Why it matters, Kennedy said that last week he would withdraw his name from the ballot in the key swing states to avoid hurting former President Trump's chances in November. But in Michigan, one of the states that could decide the election, it's too late for Kennedy to remove his name per the Secretary of State's office. And just so you guys know, there's a couple of different states. It's Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, Florida, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I think.
I'm thinking of all the battleground states. Where
is Georgia one?
Georgia might be one.
Yeah.
Florida. There's 10 main ones, though.
Yeah.
State of play. Kennedy, who was in the Michigan ballot as the nominee of the Natural Law Party, was nominated earlier this week. The Natural Law Party held their convention to select electors for RFK Jr. They cannot meet at this point to select new electors since it's to pass the primary, Hartman said. The Kennedy campaign did not immediately respond to Axios' request for comment. Zoom out. Kennedy suspended his independent presidential campaign on Friday, saying he believed that remaining on the ballot in the battleground states would most likely hand the election to the Democrats, with whom I disagree on most existential issues. During his Friday announcement, Kennedy said Trump had asked to enlist me in a second administration. Kennedy told Tucker Carlson in an interview that aired Monday that he was asked to join Trump's transition team, and he's looking forward to that. So
this is basically meaningless from my perspective. Okay. So
meaningless that he suspends the election, or his campaign.
I'll explain.
Please.
Okay, so they give the game away. They kind of tell you what the plot is. So he says, "Look, I can really hurt your chances in your run here, but on the off chance, because there's no way I'm going to win, but on the off chance you do win, I want an administration where you are going to allow me to have a position in the administration." Democrats aren't going to offer that to him.
Yeah.
So very simple. He makes a deal. The deal is, I'll support you. I won't hurt your chances in any of these key states as long as you give me a position in the administration. That's like kind of politics as usual.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly meaningful. Wouldn't surprise me if Tulsi Gabbard had something similar with some type of, we're going to get an administrative spot as long as you're out here campaigning and not hurting my chances in these key battleground states. So I don't think that this is meaningful in any way. I don't think it's going to change the outcome of the election in any way. And I think that this was expected. The main things that we have to look at right now are what's going to be the October surprise. Whatever that is going to be, I think...
Taylor Swift?
I think fucking insane. Whatever that is going to be that they drop on Trump just before...
Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala.
November. I think that whatever the October surprise is going to be about Trump.
Okay.
It's going to be about Trump. And I don't know if it'll be like some bombshell that they drop but there'll be something that will also drastically.
So you don't think this is important at all that RFK's endorsing him?
Not even a little bit.
No. Okay.
I agree.
I disagree with that, and I'll say why. Go, Haas, you
go first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you agree that RFK endorsing him is a good thing, or going to benefit him? Because
I think at least a little bit. I think it could.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
To me, right? I personally like RFK, despite the fact that I consider myself more. I guess people call me far right, whatever. Because I like his stance on. Because here's the thing with RFK, he's actually pretty damn anti-establishment, and he's very critical of the pharmaceutical companies, the food companies, etc. People call him a conspiracy theorist. That's why the Democrat Party didn't really want to sign off on a lot of on bringing him on. And I think for Trump, that's good, because one of the main criticisms that he's getting is that he's become the politician that he campaigned against in 2016, which is a valid critique. So bringing someone on like an RFK who is anti-establishment, who is considered a conspiracy theorist by many, I think that will be good for his campaign, because it kind of alludes back to that 2016 campaign that he was. Also, I think it's going to bring a lot of people that were in the middle. RFK is very social media big. He's done a lot of interviews. A lot of libertarians like him. A lot of people that are not really sure where they're going to go like him. He was endorsed by Joe Rogan, which is huge. Because even though people say, well, Rogan didn't endorse him as a politician, he just likes the guy, whatever. The point is that Joe Rogan has a huge platform, and there's a lot of people that kind of side with that more libertarian view. He's almost like, I don't want to say as big as a Bernie, but he brings in a lot of those voters that were undecided and don't know where they were going to go. I think, if anything, RFK is going to bring a lot of those people over to Trump, which I think is a W. And then also he did. You're correct, by the way, as far as like giving him a position. He was talking about making RFK the head of overseeing assassination attempts in the United States during in the rally when he came out. So I think it's a good pickup. I think it's a big W for him.
I think it's just business, just business as usual, man.
I think, and it's going to bring a lot of people because there's a lot of people that hate both candidates. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot of people that hate both candidates.
But I'm not sure that just because he endorses him, whatever he would have siphoned off from Trump is necessarily going to go to Trump.
Oh, you think a lot of those people will go Kamala?
I think they will, and not only that, but I think ultimately this was just a CYA deal. It was this guy could potentially hurt my chances by, even 90,000 votes, which could be critical in some of these areas.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just bribe him. He can't. Hey, you can't win, right? No, I can't win. Why don't you come work for me instead? Right? Just the classic.
I think it was a smart move by Trump.
Look,
and I think RFK can. I think
it's the only move by Trump.
I think RFK has a lot of. No, well, here's the thing. RFK has a lot of young, impressionable people that follow him that don't trust the government. And RFK can bring those people in to Trump.
I think there's
but
still...
is that enough, though? I don't think it's enough. Because Trump needs a Democratic vote as well, heavily.
I think he's going to bring some of these guys over.
I definitely think...
I think he's going to bring some of them
So,
over.
look, I definitely think...
RFK is very popular, guys, like amongst
no, you're right,
people our age group and people that are in tune with social media. Because here's the other thing, too, about RFK. One last thing, and I'll turn it to you. I think of any politician that I've seen, he's done the most podcast interviews.
Yeah, but what about...
He's out there. The thing that fucked him up, though, his voice sounds funny.
Yeah, it does.
And which a lot of people dislike. But, once you get used to it, you listen to it for a bit, you're like, okay, this guy makes sense. But I think he's going to bring a lot of those people over. But, sorry, go ahead.
But those libertarians stay home, though. If they don't have the libertarian candidate to vote for, they stay home. They just don't vote.
And also, those
that is
people...
true. Some of them will say, I'd rather not vote.
That support RFK, bro, are behind the scenes. They don't want to be out in public at all.
Well, I think he can galvanize them and tell them you got to come out and vote.
I don't know, man.
But go ahead. What's your take, House?
Well, one of the things I definitely think is that it's probably too late. I think this would have been an avenue for Trump to actually have a chance for the reasons you stated. RFK, I mean, I hate his foreign policy. I hate his pro-Zionism. It's horrible. It's a disaster.
I think that's
worst thing
that really hurt him. When he aligned himself with Rabbi Shmuley, I was like, come on, dude.
And it's very strange that he did this, and we can only speculate why. But anyway, look.
Yeah.
I think that
he doesn't have Secret Service protection.
yeah. I think that if Trump, he represents a lot of those same people that I think were decisive for Trump in 2016. People who care about the bread and butter issues, people who used to kind of vote Democrat. They're not really extreme in terms of their social views. They're just kind of normal people. And I think that I don't think Trump really appreciated the extent to which that the MAGA movement was a political realignment. It wasn't a Republican thing. It wasn't a Democrat thing. It totally discombobulated the political options we have, and it created a new electorate, a lot of whom are apathetic and politically homeless, or they're neither party, right? He didn't lean in enough kind of cultivating, I mean, I'm kind of repeating myself a little, but it's like the traditional Republican base. This is a strange phenomenon. I don't know if you're aware of this. It's so interesting because the traditional Republican base actually started going Democrat. The suburban kind of upper middle class, traditional kind of Republicans that you think of as a Republican, they actually were
because
so
of the
off.
Female vote.
Well, also, but they were also so off put by the class warfare, the indirect class warfare, at least, that Trump was tapping into, these deplorable blue collar, whatever, mechanics or something. They didn't like it. These are the respectable kind of upper middle class, really conservative in the Tory kind of British sense, like they're squares basically. They started going more Democrat. And there was another direction that was happening, which is that the kind of traditional Democrat blue-collar base is going the opposite direction. And Trump did not really do a lot to accelerate that process. The Democrats consolidated that shift and that realignment.
Trump has never, I agree with you that Trump has never fully understood his own phenomenon.
Right, exactly.
But Steve Bannon and guys like that did. Steve Bannon was a guy, he learned all about this through World of Warcraft, interestingly enough. He learned through understanding, because he bought up this massive company that did gold farming on World of Warcraft. I'm not kidding. Okay.
Wow.
Did gold farming.
Yeah, they basically go and get all the items and then sell them.
And then they would sell. Yeah. Well, they get all the gold. They get all the gold. They'd sell all the gold for real money, right? Well, he found out that he could. There's a massive article about this I can send that you can post up on whatever your site is, wherever you.
He just got out, right? Didn't he just get out?
Yeah, but it's really interesting. He utilized a lot of what he learned about basically messing with the economy inside of the game in order to mobilize people into their various frustrations and this kind of thing. It was an interesting article about it. But Bannon really understood the Trump phenomenon in a way that a lot of other people never really did, which is you really need to tap into the fact that people are way more pissed off than you think, and you can be an outlet for that. You can be an outlet for them to say, this is all bullshit. What's with all the immigrants, the bad trade deals, everything is exported, our jobs are being sent overseas, everything here is just a copy and paste. It's a McDonald's on every corner, followed by a Subway, followed by a FedEx building. I mean, everywhere you go, if I drop you in any suburb in the United States or in any strip mall in the United States and you looked around just based on the buildings which were around you, would you ever know where the fuck you were? No, you wouldn't know which state you were in. You wouldn't know if you were in Tennessee. You wouldn't know if you were in Houston.
All the same.
It's all the fucking same. And people were very upset about this, and they still are upset about this. The Trump phenomenon was tapping into this idea. Now, it's way broader than that, but I would agree with Haas that Trump is one of the people who never really understood the phenomenon that he tapped into. His advisors did, guys like Bannon, who are no longer around, and that's why he's not doing as well as he was doing when he ran his original campaign.
Yeah, he has some bad advisors.
Haas, you didn't get a chance to talk about the RFK thing. So do you think it's going to help? Do you guys think it's not going to really help indifferent? I think it will help. What do you think?
I think it would have been a step in the right direction much earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
It's too late now.
So you think it's too late?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It could do something.
You guys all made valid points.
Not much. I wouldn't say much.
You think it's indifferent? It's not going to do anything.
No.
You agree with him, and then I told you guys why I think it'll help. Because I do generally like RFK, and I think he will mobilize like a silent amount of people that are very indifferent to the election, that kind of like, I don't like either one, I'm an independent, I'm a libertarian, and I think that will draw them out because I think RFK does have a very strong social media presence. He's his interviews do very well when he goes on other platforms. He literally just did Tucker yesterday. It's gotten millions upon millions of views already. He's been on Rogan multiple times. I think he's of all, and this is something that he doesn't get credit for. I think when it comes to social media marketing and doing interviews, etc., he has the best footprint of everybody.
I would argue Vivek does.
No one trusts Vivek, bro. No one trusts Vivek.
Hold on. He's able to galvanize people that were against his side easily through conversation. That's a skill, bro.
Yeah, but the problem is that no one trusts Vivek. He's called Vivek the Snaker for a reason. So no one trusts him.
So you know what?
Because you want to know why? He gives a lot of Obama vibes, which is the thing. He's a very good speaker.
True.
He's very smart. I like him too. Don't get it twisted. I like him too. But a lot of people don't trust him and they think he's a snake.
We could really be underestimating the RFK thing when I think about it.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's just the demographic. I feel
if you could get over his voice, because his biggest hurdle is his voice. People hate his fucking voice.
I just think the demographic.
When you listen to one interview, and then you listen to a second, you're like, okay, you get used to it.
But at the same time, it's like his people are too old. They're like millennial to older crowd.
They're our age group, bro.
Yeah, but we're old.
Late 20s, 30s. Like
we're old,
that's who he appeals to.
Yeah, I think, but Kamala, I feel like has this energy, which
she
is
has these young
really
TikTokers.
the TikTok.
She does, dude.
Yeah.
So many
she
fucking.
has the meme culture, bro.
So many of these fucking weirdo losers.
She has
these TikTokers were at the DNC, dude.
Yeah,
crazy.
She has the meme culture,
and that's exactly what Trump had.
In
2016.
In 16.
Now she has it, bro. Nigga, she got the whole arsenal.
By the way,
stupid dances and
can
shit.
I say right now, the right can't meme?
At all.
At all.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's done. It's finito.
It's like, what the fuck? What happened to this?
I'll tell
It
you
used to
exactly
be
what
really
happened.
funny. Now it's not funny.
Yeah.
When censorship was totally lifted on X, the right basically, I feel like, exhausted all of its ammunition, and in terms of the meme stuff. And now all the extreme positions have been taken out in the open and exhausted mimetically or whatever. So there's not a lot of room for the magic there anymore. I just kind of feel like Kamala's whole meme magic is like, excuse my French, it's like, I'm a stupid bitch, whatever. Like, it's cute, it's charming. She's an airhead. She's careless though, but she's carefree, and that's what makes her so charming. And just like America's on,
It's like Legally Blonde.
yeah, some
Legally Black.
yeah, and it's like there's something about this that people find appealing. It's like it reflects America, the state of America right now. Like, America is blind, carefree, and stupid right now, and it's like going down a spiral of
By the way, I mean, would
self-destruction.
anybody actually be surprised if a whore became president? Because I wouldn't be.
Bro,
That
Kim
wouldn't that be the
Kardashian.
perfect-
Yeah, you're right.
Isn't
You're
that the
right.
perfect
That's a
representation
good point.
of America right
Kim
now?
Kardashian.
The Republicans trying to call her a slut actually doesn't help.
Hold on.
No.
Kim Kardashian.
No, it doesn't help.
Hawk Tuah,
No,
Meg Thee
makes it more
Stallion,
popular.
Cardi B, all these queens of influence
Taylor
just
Swift.
proves the mass
Rihanna.
population
All three, of course.
support whores.
Yeah.
And as a result, you're right, the slut comment doesn't hurt her at all.
It doesn't hurt
If
her at all.
anything, she's empowered to be a woman of culture.
Yeah.
That's what it really
because
does, bro.
they say that she slept her way to the top, etc. The only people that are going to find that funny and like that stuff are people that like us that watch Steven Crowder, that like that type of, because Crowder actually got in trouble for this.
Yeah.
Funny enough, they kicked him off YouTube for like a week because he had like a doll of her like humping the Statue of Liberty, right, to insinuate that she's promiscuous and she slept her way to the top, etc. And they hit him for bullying for that. They hit him for cyberbullying.
I will
for that.
say there's an interesting dynamic going on without getting too much into the everything. I've noticed that in the hip hop industry, female rappers are starting to dominate like big time.
Yeah.
That's the real up and coming.
And they're
next big
campaigning,
thing.
and if you look at them, they're all 304s. See, there used to be a time when Little Kim came out, and I'll never forget this. She came out with the album cover with her legs wide open. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" It caused a lot of controversy, etc. Like, yeah, she had some radio spins or whatever, but she didn't dominate at all.
Yeah.
Right. It was still the male artists, etc. in the '90s. But now you look at like a lot of these female rappers, Nicki Minaj, Sexy Red. Meg Thee Stallion, etc. Cardi B. These women they've all had what? We got our music guys here in the house. All of these girls have had like top 10 on the Billboard, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Versus like you look at female artists from before, none of them ever hit Billboard like that top 10.
I think
but now these women control hip hop.
Yeah, it's like, look, the appeal of original hip hop was like, you're an outlaw. It's a dog eat dog world. You're gonna stand on your own business, and it's you against the world, and that's it. It's like it's a ruthless world. And I think there was a lot of things that happened where, like, okay, it's toxic masculinity. There's too much kind of.
Isn't that the same message just coming from the women?
Right, but then that's still untapped. That's still not been like domesticated by the political correctness. So, well, it is subsumed under it, but it's like it's still an edge, so to speak.
It's the same message. It's just now I'm empowered.
women.
I'm the outlaw. You
women.
can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Do you remember how hard women fought to be where they are today? Do you think for a fact they're going to say, you know what? Trump is smarter, more equipped for presidency, and a man of steel over him? Or are they going to say, this is the first time we can actually make a choice to make a change as women?
Well, she brought Meg Thee Stallion on her first rally. That should tell you guys everything that you need to know.
Yeah,
she brought Quavo. She
don't
brought Meg Thee Stallion.
I don't disagree. I don't think that the average woman wants a female president, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think in this particular case, I think you're right. I don't see a path to victory for Trump under,
I do see a path,
under
though,
his
I'll tell you.
current under kind of his current campaign. I really don't. The most important reason why isn't because I don't think that Trump can't get the votes, because he can. I think it doesn't matter if he does. They're not going to fucking let him have it. They're not going to let him have it.
And also, I would prefer Trump to win just off of basis of common sense and logic.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not up to us. It's up to them. The deep state.
No.
Just saying.
Okay, so let me read chats and I'll give you guys my take on the path to victory that I think Trump can have here. Because I do think that there's a path. It's narrow, but I'll tell you guys here in a second. Decrypting messages from Telegram with current tech will take millions of years. Even if we had quantum computing, would take decades. The only way is having the phone of the person. Yes, this is true. Thank you, Jensen Mir. That's you got to have the person's phone. Wait, what? Someone with fresh? Damn, she got no ass. Okay,
That's my new tagline.
all right. Let's try this again. Mo, you still looking for people to join the affiliate program, G? We got Mo and Noble here.
I just DM'd him already.
Okay, perfect.
I sent you on Noble's Twitter.
All right. Hit up Noble, guys. He handles the affiliates if you guys want to make money posting our content, and you can absolutely make money with that, and obviously the Couch Club as well. What else we got here?
Right.
Fresh, be the special guest one time and enlighten us about the prophecies of the Bible. You know, all the end of time stuff. What's supposed to happen, what has happened, and all that. Scare us, nigga.
We could do that,
Okay.
bro. You know what's crazy? In Bible study back in the day when I was a kid, they played the movie Left Behind.
How
1,
about
2, and
you and
3.
Andrew do it? You guys are both, well, he's Orthodox. But don't you guys...
I don't know what your eschatology is.
So I'm more of an independent. Let me explain.
What were you raised with?
Pentecostal.
Oh, that's scarier than.
No,
Yeah.
but hold
That
on.
end time stuff
Hold
is
on.
probably scarier.
Hold on.
All right.
I saw what it was for what it was, meaning
Yeah.
that it's all a bunch of like, ooh, Holy Spirit. Understandable. But I then saw non-denominational Christianity as a way to see what the Bible really says, right? But to go a little bit further, they'll play in Bible study these 3 movies.
Yeah.
Left Behind 1, 2, and 3. What it is a movie telling of end time prophecy coming true in real life. Antichrist coming back to
And
rule
that's
the world.
pre-tribulation rapture.
Yes. And a rapture is going to happen where people are taken away from this world and saved before the end time comes fully. Granted, though, as a kid seeing that, bro, you're like, oh, this is a scary movie. Then the pastor's like, no, this is real life. We're like, what? This is going to happen? So that alone scared the shit out of me. Like, I was in church every day.
So wait, are there any differences between, because he's an Orthodox Christian, and you're saying
very
many
many
end of times
differences. Yep.
With the end of times, you guys look at it differently.
Well,
Yeah,
are
we
you
look- we-
post-trib,
eschatology
rapture,
for
or
us is a-
pre-trib?
The rapture for us isn't a thing, really.
Well, no, hold on. You know what's crazy? I don't believe in it either.
Yeah.
And actually speaking, this is what I'm saying. I'm not based off of a tradition. I'm based off of what the Bible says exactly, which is very important to me. But granted, though, that movie was scary as hell as a kid.
Well, Revelation is not well understood.
It's not.
And it's very difficult. That's one of the things that Protestants fuck up the worst because it's so cryptic on purpose. The purpose of it is
Dragon, crowns, heads.
is to not give you the information. That is the purpose.
7 Hills.
So wait, do you guys agree then? It seems like to me, because we could do this end of time thing, I guess, for the people one day.
Yeah, that would be
I'm
fun.
down for it, bro.
I
Where
would
you guys can
come
give the
in.
different
I'll read up
perspectives.
on Bible.
Where you guys
It would be
could-
better
where
for
you guys
you to
could
talk
give
to an
different
Orthodox
perspectives.
eschatologist, but I could give you my takes.
Because so
Because they want to know the end of times, like what you guys
so,
think.
You know what's funny?
That's what they
the
want.
people you talk about that run these companies, all this jargon, aren't the real enemy, bro.
Oh, them boys?
Yeah, the real enemy, it hasn't even come yet. I mean, he's here in spirit, but not really fully here. They're just pawns in the whole game. But their agenda pushes towards revelation happening. And it's funny because if you look at what's happening in the Bible, it's happening today as we speak. Which is crazy, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that's one.
scary.
It's actually a really strong argument against atheists because they can't
debate that.
actually explain why prophecies came true.
Yeah.
They just say, "Well, you were moved into the fulfillment of them because you wanted them to happen." It's
No.
like, well, then wait, then isn't that what it says it's going to happen? Though?
Which is why I argue, if you are atheist or you're a different religion, how do you explain the Bible being so accurate nowadays? It's almost impossible to
Yeah.
deny what's happening
Well,
now.
and even what's going on right now with Israel and Palestine.
Yes.
When they're saying, look, we're about to make this big sacrifice, right, of the golden heifer. We're going to remake the temple. It's
Yes.
like
it's on purpose to fulfill prophecy.
To fulfill
which is what I'm telling
prophecy,
you.
yeah.
Fighting an enemy you can't beat is suicide, my nigga. They ain't going nowhere. Well, the people of God ain't going nowhere. So that's all I'm gonna say.
you mean Christians?
Yes,
Yeah.
real Christians.
Yeah, Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What we're talking about
because
the boy-
Israel's
okay,
not.
never mind.
The, the people you're trying to fight, they're not that important, bro. Trust me, they're not.
All right.
They're pawns.
What do we got here? Okay.
Cool.
W panel WFNF, appreciate the political and different perspectives. Somewhat unchained. LOL. Hope to see more of it. This on Control Chaos. Myron, looking forward to a question. Myron, do you think Trump will actually realize JFK documents or an empty promise to RFK? Andrew, if you have to steal a man, what would be the path forward for Trump to win? What steps, in your opinion? I don't think you he said there isn't a path, right? Like it's
I don't see a path.
he doesn't see a path. And then oh, look at this with the news. That's funny.
What is that? I don't know what that means. What does this mean?
They're making fun of us with the news thing.
That's funny.
Go back to the go back to the thing real quick. Okay, Martin, quick. Do you think Trump will actually realize JFK documents are an empty promise to RFK? Here's the thing. Trump saw the JFK documents and he didn't declassify them. I talked about this with Andrew Bustamante, who former CIA. He's never seen ever that they would have documents 60 plus years and not declassify them. He says that something is going on, and I would say that they don't want the shooters to be identified for obvious reasons. And we talked about this on my we did a whole podcast about JFK. No, it's on Fresh on Rumble though.
Rumble.
We did the whole JFK stream. 4 hours, guys. Go watch it. Okay, what else do we got here? This is me in the gym. Oh boy, Myron, where do I even begin, Myron Gaines? Honey, my Pookie Bear. What? I have loved you ever since I first saw you.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta keep reading, man. You gotta actually keep reading.
All right, let's move on. I'm not gonna read this shit.
That's funny, bro. You're an admirer, bro.
All right.
Admirer.
Hey, yo, Myron,
Rise
I
of
bet you won't do it.
Rise of the what? Of the
Planet
planet?
of the Apes.
Okay.
Let's go, my niggas.
Myron. Appreciate that.
That's funny.
FNFW for the streams and debates. There are the rumbles that J.D. Vance could be replaced on the Republican presidential ticket. No, they're not going to. This was shown on CNN yesterday. What is your view on the possibility that Vance could be replaced? I heavily doubt that he would replace him. It's too late.
I can only hope.
You're not. Oh, I didn't ask you. What's your guys' thoughts on Vance? I never got to ask you guys this.
He's extremely unpopular. He was not a popular pick. It was known that he was going to be the pick, but it was not a popular pick. And
who do you think he should have went with instead?
I'm not sure. I've been asked that question before. Out of the possible picks, I think he would have been better off with RFK, honestly.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So you think him endorsing him isn't enough? If he had brought RFK in as the vice president, that would have been a better move.
That would have been a way better move if he could have done it. And this was suggested to him many times, but they're like, well, wait a second. He doesn't have the kind of inside political clout which is necessary. And it's like, well, but, the whole Pence thing, Pence didn't work out well for Trump.
Yeah.
Did not work out well for Trump. He should have had an outsider.
And that's why they hate J.D. Vance so. That's why they dislike J.D. Vance so much. Is because, like, bro, you've been betrayed already by your vice president. Why are you going to bring in a guy that was never Trump in 2016?
Exactly.
They're holding it.
Not only that, he might. Pence. He could have authorized that alternative slate of electors. By the way, he could have done that, and then we would have an entirely different nation right now. He could have done that, and guess what? If that ever happened again, if it were to ever repeat, J.D. Vance isn't going to authorize it either. So,
well, Pence, you could say this new indictment, he's the chief witness in that thing because it's all on the insurrection, is what they're saying. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Iscariot, bro. Judas.
I think he's definitely like a Peter Thiel, scary DOD type of connected guy. But I heard something that Tucker Carlson talked Trump out of war with Iran. So maybe if Trump was chosen as vice president, that could have. Sorry.
Tucker?
I didn't get sleep. If Tucker was chosen as vice president,
that would never happen.
Well, I don't. I don't see what other options there would be that I would say are like positive, marginally more positive.
A lot of people like Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
I've heard RFK before too.
Ben Carson, wasn't he
the black
last
neurosurgeon
from 2012, the election?
I thought he was dead.
Yeah,
no, he's still alive.
Bro,
Really?
I'm gonna hold you.
he ran in
People
2015
forgot
as well.
about him, bro.
Yeah.
I thought he was dead too, but he's not dead.
Yeah, he's alive. Who else? There was Vivek was also another name that people dropped.
But yeah, you're right. People think he's a snake. That is true.
I think even
he's
Vivek
they think he's a
superior,
scammer.
except that
Vivek?
Yeah, I think he was a scammer.
He made his billions in pharmaceutical, right?
But people just think he's a scammer because of the way his kind of has a fake charisma about him.
You don't bring on
because people saw with Obama. Because Obama came in on like this whole hope thing or whatever.
Look, the thing
Vance is so low
it's not even just
energy
that.
and
Vivek really tries too hard, and everyone can see it. He just tries too hard. Like you can clearly see, like he's really trying to sound like a president, like really bad. And it's just, I don't know. That's just me, at least. It's just like uncanny valley. Like it's just super inauthentic.
Yeah.
He's still better though. I think.
I think almost any pick would have been better than Vance.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of people were not happy with. I've heard more people not happy with Vance than more.
Why
people
is Vance so hated though? Aside from the obvious, like Pence, for example, I'd say is.
Because
I
he
would
was
say
a
the
never
never Trumper.
Yeah.
That was what fucked
yeah,
him up.
against Trump.
Yeah.
That's
Back in the day.
And the thing is that the MAGA supporters, like Trump's hardcore fans, they dislike anyone that betrayed Trump because they saw like what happened with January 6th. They hate Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Like anyone that, and they look at it like, bro, why are you repeating history?
Did Vance turn on him in J6? After J6, or
That's a good question. But Mike LaCivita did, or this
Oh,
guy
okay.
is it Mike? No, what the fuck's his first name again? LaCivita, his campaign manager now.
yeah.
Who?
His campaign LaCivita. His first name. Somebody.
One thing I know that's
someone in the chat put it for me. His first, I think, is it Mike LaCivita? Because when he lost the election, they said that
Yeah.
it wasn't it wasn't stolen.
one thing I'm scared a little bit about Vance, and it's nothing new, obviously, but it's like he's a super big war hawk toward China. You know, as much as he
and Iran. His first speech at the RNC, his first like interview at the RNC, he brought up Iran,
It's
bombing
like
them.
the anti-China
Chris
stuff is his
LaCivita, thank
big-
you. Sorry,
his
sorry
big
guys,
selling
fucking
point.
lost the name. Yeah, Chris LaCivita, when Trump lost the election in 2020, he said that the election results were legit.
Oh, okay.
That's why people don't like him either. So, yeah, the MAGA they have a very low they have a very long memory, and they have a low tolerance for people that they feel betrayed MAGA. So that's why so many people are like pissed off. Let's go back to the chats and then we'll. Okay, who can I hit up to join the affiliate program? Hit up
Noble on Twitter.
Yep. What else we got?
On Twitter, Great
Yo,
King Noble.
put the link.
Here's
in
a $15 for
Council
the
Club
WoW
for them.
resub.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
And guys, join Council Club. Council Club.tv, man.
Yep.
Let's get another Brandon Carter Money Monday. Yeah, we'll make that happen for y'all for one side. I super chatted last week about watching that resume podcast 3 times and still not landing a job. I just received an offer yesterday, 27 an hour, and now it's 36 an hour. I still have to take a drug test and background check on my starting date on the 16th, but I have not put my 2 weeks in. Thank you guys for the value provided for free. Fresh, what was the booklet about interviewing called? Fresh, we got it for you.
I'm gonna get it for you right now.
And we
bro.
got you, Nathan. All right, pick up the dog. She's been trying to get on your lap for a while. Pause. Ow! Okay. W. Chris. What the fuck? Yeah, where'd y'all get that picture from? Mom, would you suggest building a home or buying a home, not as an investor, but for a family? Also, do you know any mentors in the credit repair business space? Here's the thing, bro. As far as like building a home, it's extremely expensive because the materials are expensive. You could think the war with Ukraine with that one. Because anytime there's a conflict, the price of lumber almost always goes up. So if you could afford to build one, go ahead. But realistically speaking, it might be not worth it to build a home versus just buying one, especially nowadays with building how
And it's probably going to be
materials.
a buyer's market soon.
Yes. Mark, gonna set up a crypto dono box for your show. Yeah, I'm missing out on crypto donos. I won't much. You're gonna talk about Zuck being forced to push a COVID stuff on FB. Also invited Destiny's cousin on the show. All right, man.
Is that me or?
I think that's you.
Just donate here on Council Club, bro. That's the best way. For Andrew, you have defined right as entitlement absent duty. Using the Second Amendment as an example, would I have a duty not to shoot anyone in cold blood? For the First Amendment, would I have a duty not to slander anyone?
No. Why would you have a duty? Well, I think that slander could fall under duty, but slander is not talking shit. Slander is making untrue statements about a person, and I think essentially everybody has a duty to not slander people.
Yeah, because
That's what I would say.
You want to be factual.
Yeah, you want to be factual. So you shouldn't be saying things which are designed to hurt the reputation on purpose, which are untrue. That would be slander. And so, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that
All right.
at all.
So it's called the Essential Job Interview Handbook by Gene Bauer.
There you go.
Really good book.
The Russian guy says they should equally allow both sides to post their stories on social media or just ban all content to be posted during elections.
Which it probably will.
Yep. Trick says, what is the new indictment that Jack Smith is filing against Trump? Aileen Cannon already ruled his appointment was outside of statutory bounds. How can he charge Trump with anything at this point? You're right, bro. Well, it's
Damn.
a different... remember, Aileen Cannon is down here in Florida. The new one is out of the Washington, D.C. district. So
Yeah.
that's different. It's going to be another judge that has to deal with that one. Tricks. Anything else? Okay. I don't want to sound like a doomer, but if they fortified the election against Trump in 2020, what's stopping them from doing it again in 2024?
Nothing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what...
Common sense. Hit
that's what Andrew was talking
hit the
about.
screen. Uh-oh.
Nothing.
I
Yeah,
think the
bro.
only thing is that they won't be able to do it in plain sight like they did last time. Actually, Crowder's doing a pretty
Yeah,
good
we'll see.
thing. Crowder is actually having the Mug Club guys be out in all of the election booths to monitor it. They have like a huge push that they're doing, which is cool that they're doing that.
They did all that poll watching with Biden, and it didn't work.
It don't matter, bro, because
Then we were watching them put up cardboard and shit. They shut the whole thing down and walked. All the poll watching didn't do
when they
anything.
count the actual votes, that's when you're going to know.
Yeah.
On point
But when
politics.
they show up in bags at midnight.
I don't even think
yeah.
they need to rig it this time. I think Kamala will win probably.
By a landslide.
Hey,
probably.
Martin, I'm striving to be the most accurate pollster for 2024. I'm at 34.5K subs, and I just did a collaboration with one of the top 3 pollsters in the country. I hit you on X on an email your channel. Get back to me soon. More details in my email. What do you mean, actually, pollster?
Bro, I don't think you understand how flooded Myron's emails be.
Okay. Where are we at here? Hey, Myron, I'm striving. Okay, we got
That's
it. Okay.
Okay, fellas, this was a great show.
Wait, we're not done, nigga.
Well, what?
Wait. Man, Fresh always trying to end the show early, man.
Nigga, they been here for hours. Up to y'all.
Well, I was going to talk about the path to victory.
Oh.
And I was going to have your
Oh,
guys' take on it.
yeah.
And then,
hear that.
and then, a new what? New one? No. Listen to any clip of Vivek from over years ago. He is a genius ultra nerd who took election classes, hence the try hard speak. I like him. He needs to tone down the presidential. If he was really a snake, he would claim to be Christian.
Oh, come on, bro. That's messed up, Nut. That's messed up, man.
No, well, I mean, that's a good point, though, right? He's saying because he's not a Christian, he doesn't claim that he is. If he was really a snake, he probably would claim that he was. That would be
I
more
read that
helpful
correctly?
to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So okay, here's the path to victory. I think for Trump here. With just being realistic, clear. Is he gonna fire Les Savita as campaign manager right now, or Susie? No, he's not gonna fire them. He's gonna keep JD Vance on. So let's just be realistic here. What I think he needs to do is all in on the debate. It's gonna happen September 5th, if I'm not mistaken, on ABC. He's gonna debate Kamala Harris. So what he's gonna need to do, because this is how we demolish Biden, is and made him actually drop out. He needs to demolish Kamala on the debate stage, because one thing I've noticed with the debate is that that's how you get these people that are diehard, like, I'm going to vote for XYZ party. That's how you get them over, is when they watch their candidate get absolutely smoked in the debate in a battle of ideas. I think that's how you're going to be able to bring over some people that are questioning her on the left, and also bring the people that are in the middle, which is a lot, by the way, that don't like either candidate. I think that's what they're going to have to do, is he's going to have to demolish her on the debate. And the thing is that he can do it because she doesn't really have strong policy. She just came out with her policies recently. She's been backtracking a lot of things. First she said that she's not going to drill. Now she's saying she's going to drill. She's he can attack her on a lot of her social policies. I think what Trump needs to do is try to kind of stay away. Well, clarify his position on the abortion. Clarify that 100%, because they're attacking him, saying that he's against abortion when he's really not. He needs to clarify his position on that, and I think he needs to attack her on the critical race theory and them indoctrinating the whole alphabet community in the schools, which he wants to eliminate.
So Trump is not a strong debater. Never has been a strong debater.
But she sucks too.
He's good. He's good offensively when it comes especially to direct attacks on the character of the individual he's going after. He's extremely good with that. That kind of rhetoric is very effective, especially in politics. If he can hit her with that rhetoric, that's going to be good. But if they stick to issues, he loses.
You think so?
Yes, because
Why?
Because she can just drown him out with an overwhelming, you fucked up COVID, you fucked up the economy, you shut the states down, everything you claim I
Abortion.
did, you actually did. It's your fault because you were the one who issued out all of the checks so that people could stay at home. You blame us for it. You did the lockdowns. You were the one who actually made the vaccines. She'll hit him with all of that.
She's younger.
You know what's
She's
funny?
more
She's
energetic.
going to use what? The victim card. I'm telling you right now.
Well, hold on. But then you know what he could fire back on?
What?
You're in office right now, bitch. He can attack her with that. If she's going to go that route.
And I've been here fixing your
But you know what?
fuck-ups.
Let's also remember
because he can literally, that's the other thing too, because here's the other thing, he can literally say, look, you're not even elected, you shouldn't even be here, you're only here because fucking Biden dropped out because he's an idiot. And the reality is that you are in power right fucking now.
She's going to say, you cause these issues, I'm still solving them.
Yep, that's exactly what she's
card
going to
goes,
say.
No, victim card goes all the way, bro.
Yeah.
It'll stop on
Oh, hold on.
It goes all the
And
way.
then he'll be able to say to that, okay, well, if you're fixing my problems, well, let's talk about the border. And I think he needs to really lean on her being the border czar.
Yeah, and she's going to
attack
say,
her on that.
we have exported more illegals than your administration
so.
did, which
There's
is
something.
true.
There's something I remember about
Oh,
the terms.
you mean deporting more?
Yeah.
But that's because more came in.
I
So look,
agree,
they're-
but it's still
I see
still
what you mean.
effective
Yeah,
rhetoric.
yeah.
right?
She's
She's
most Americans are
issued
idiots.
debate terms and conditions. So she says no muting. They want to have them sit down. Both of them have to sit down during debate. For some reason, she requested that, and no muting. Right?
Because she doesn't want him to look
yeah.
towering over.
But
yes,
here's
because he is tall.
But here's
People
so
don't know Trump is like 6'4".
that
guys.
kind of
Yeah,
tells me as far as one of the angles that might be pursued is like, look, Trump is old. He's not that high energy. Kamala's has more energy and she's younger. And I just kind of feel like in a debate, she would be able to just say more than he would just because she's like younger. Like he's so old.
That's why I disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
Real quick. She hasn't done any big, hard interviews.
True.
She's only done rallies and, speaking things where she's not having any reviews challenged and or questioned.
Yeah.
Whereas Trump has went on adversarial news networks, so has J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
But her campaign has done a fantastic job. But this is what they're doing great, by the way. They're highlighting her strengths while minimizing her faults. She's not doing interviews. She's using teleprompters. She's not actually. She just recently talked about her policies.
This is like a brilliant strategy.
It's a great strategy.
They're going to have her memorize
fantastic.
every possible debate point that would ever come up, the border, everything. They're going to have her memorize it to a T. And
You're training her right now.
Yeah, look,
Here's the thing: Tulsi Gabbard already smacked her, which I think is awesome. I think it's fantastic.
Here's your notes.
Here's the other thing too that I think is also great that the Republicans did is that they were able to get Tulsi Gabbard to endorse them. She smacked Kamala already.
Yeah, that's definitely possible because Tulsi's
but Tulsi
of
Gabbard
a similar
is
age.
Much smarter than Kamala Harris. She's objectively a way better debater. And she has a much more aggressive style, and that whole "excuse me" bullshit that Kamala does won't work on Gabbard.
Trump,
it has no. But on Trump, I am standing up to a bully who's bullying me right now, and I have to be assertive and act like this. That plays off to the cloud
The
really
is so
well.
dangerous, bro. You know the issue though? They're gonna say, man of logic that are watching this, you know what? Trump is gonna destroy her. The issue is, again, this people are forgetting.
Dude.
The women audience, bro, is going to be, she's fighting for our rights. She has our back. Even though Trump is winning, he's bullying her.
Especially them sitting down. She's going to look so condescending to him.
Okay, 20 years ago, I would agree with you. I would say, you know what, you're right, because the mainstream media carries the narrative. Because here's the other thing, too, that I'm worried about. He's going to be on ABC. We already know they're left-leaning. They're going to ask questions that are going to favor her. It's going to be fucking biased, right? 100% is going to be biased. But here's the difference. We have something called social media now. We have alternative media.
They know
what's going to happen is they're going to watch this debate, and a lot of the political commentators, they're going to tell you the truth about who really won, and they're going to actually break it down fairly objectively.
I think they're going to script it for TikTok. She's going to script it for TikTok.
For sure.
Clapback moments and make it all memes.
And clips.
For sure.
Destroyed.
For sure. Well, hold on. Again, like I said before, this is why social media is so powerful. I think he's going to smoke her so bad that they won't be able to fucking make
it won't
look
matter.
like she
Nobody's
won.
going to care about who smokes who because she's going to have the meme power.
Has the clips and memes. She does.
Yeah, exactly.
think
She has
so.
the keys,
Are
bro,
you
I'm telling
covering that
That's
live?
all. See, like,
What was that?
Are you covering that
Yeah.
live?
Nobody-
I'm flying back
no,
here for that. I'm flying back here for that. We're doing the debate live because I totally disagree. We'll do the pundit
I disagree
thing.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
because
Sure.
none of Kamala's appeal at all comes from like her being smart or being well spoken or being intelligent or having good policy points or arguments. It's literally
Fair.
the fucking like airhead, carefree like charisma of like, oh, I'm just kind of like a dumb girl Barbie or whatever. And like all she has to do is like do memes and clapbacks and shit.
Yo, it's so fucked
and
up, bro. It's true.
It's gonna make her like power level skyrocket for the people that actually like her.
So you guys actually, because I think number one, he's going to cook her in the debate. I think he's going to attack her policies. He's going to show that she's incompetent, and then because you made a good point that hey, look, she's going to say I've been fixing your problems for the past 4 years. Well, he's going to say you're in office right now and you're not doing anything.
No, that's a good point.
And you can't do shit. And then I know she's going to say, by the way, because this is what all the Democrats are saying. She's the vice president. She doesn't have power like that. It's all Biden. Well, guess what? Biden has said a million times. Me and Kamala agree on 99% of things. So effectively, whatever he puts into writing or legislation, whatever the fuck he passes, she's there co-signing on it. And then she's effectively, I would argue, she's had more power than any other vice president that I've seen in recent history because he's been incapacitated for fucking months.
This is all objectively.
Biden is dying, guys.
But you're thinking too logically. I think you're thinking too logically.
You're way too logical. The thing is objectively, I'm not disagreeing
insult nowadays.
that you're correct. I'm disagreeing that Trump will be able to convey exactly what you just conveyed. The last way, when I just saw him debate with Biden, he was super
Pisses
low
me off
energy.
that you're saying this, but you're correct.
And he goes, well, the thing is my administration didn't do that, and we did other things other than that weren't those things.
Yeah,
weren't that. And people were, dude, fucking hit this guy, right? What are you doing? Hit him. Hit him. Tell him he's a fucking idiot. Tell him he's retarded. Anything.
Yeah.
And he barely took advantage of
was
the
it-
senility of Biden. And if he had really started pushing hard on Biden, would have collapsed. He would. I mean, he wouldn't have even known where the fuck he was.
Look, I would agree with you on logic and reasoning. The problem is your opponents who's actually going to be against Trump, they don't think logically, bro.
No.
They think emotion
No.
and rationality to the highest degree of what they feel is right. That's the problem here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their point of view, and they believe that she's being bullied, she's a victim. Oh, she didn't know what's going on.
Remember, this isn't
she
Clinton.
wins.
Everybody fucking hated Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hated Clinton. She was not a likable person. She never really was a likable person. Harris, she's captured the TikTok imagination. And TikTok is overwhelmingly women. And that's why it's always fucking crazy when you go on there and you join any TikTok panels.
Overwhelmingly
They're always
left.
insane because it's inside the mind of a woman. You're inside the mind of a woman. That's why it's always wild there.
Google Kamala Harris, Google Trump. You're going to see nothing bad about her, everything bad about Trump.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy, bro.
Let's do the experiment right now,
dude,
real quick.
Her
Can we pull
appeal
up Google?
to the public is so clean. Nigga, how you going to beat her? TikTok too, by the way.
Well, the reason why it's clean, yeah. Let's type in Donald Trump first.
Donald Trump.
Just type in Donald Trump.
And bro, I hate to say
Let's
this.
see what comes up.
I want him to win, but bro, it's almost impossible at this point.
Altercation.
Special counsel files reworked indictment against Trump. Trump's evangelical supporters just lost their best excuse.
Yeah.
Right?
Now Google Kamala Harris now. Bro, she is so
This is
clean,
real time.
bro.
We're doing this right now, 1:30 a.m.
Dude.
on fucking Wednesday.
They have
Let's see what we
dude, they have
when we finally
scrubs.
win.
Her-
Why Harris wants to unmute Trump. Harris and Walz sit down with CNN for exclusive first joint interview since campaign.
Wow.
Cook political report shifts to North Carolina. Yo, fuck
Nothing-
this shit.
nothing bad.
What did I tell you about fucking Google, man? Who runs Google?
Hold on.
Shit's fucking crazy.
Hold on. No, watch
Shit
this.
pissing me off looking at this shit.
Now watch this. Imagine somebody that doesn't
fuck?
have logic or reasoning that sees this. You know what they're gonna say? If I had to choose between lesser evil, I'm gonna choose Kamala.
Yeah.
And dude, that's the problem with society nowadays, bro. It's what's easier choice and what's comfortable
What's
to
less
me.
energy?
Yo, you literally,
Exactly.
you guys, we just Googled it with
Easy
you guys
going.
live. You guys saw that shit? All negative shit about Trump. All positive shit about her. Oh, her first sit down was CNN, which is a fucking leftist media company, by the way. Like, they're not going to ask her no hard questions. Why does she go on Fox?
See-
Trump and JD Vance have went on ABC and CNN a million fucking times. But this bitch can't go on an adversarial news channel?
She's playing.
Why can't she go on Fox?
She's playing the smart game. And her
Totally.
advisors are telling her what to do, A to Z, and she's following.
She doesn't listen.
Word for word.
Listen, she is not giving us policies. She is not giving us policies.
Yeah.
She is not giving us.
She sold the policies, too.
Yeah, she is not giving us what
credit
she's
with
going
kids?
to do. She's not giving us anything. She's giving us nothing. And the thing is like that's the best thing she can do. She's above criticism. If she gives you no policy, you can't attack.
Look,
the
I think
policies.
Americans have
She
given
just recently
long
gave
time,
the House one $25K to home buyers, 5,000 tax credit,
Long-
which JD Vance, by the way, came up with that, and she stole it from
a
him.
long time ago,
Like-
at least the new generation of voters do not give a fuck in any serious way about politics. It's literally all vibes. They gave up.
yeah.
The country became so insane and so crazy, especially with Trump getting
Just how I
elected.
feel.
Like, oh my God, Trump got elected. Like, it fried people's brains. And it's like, after that, and Biden is senile and he's president and he's literally senile, it's like, people don't care anymore. They're just here for the memes now.
Here's one
They're
more
not here
angle
to-
as well.
nobody gives
just
a
to
fuck.
make this very clear. The angle that Trump can come at her with to maybe like bully her a little bit in a certain direction and call her out. You know what they're gonna say? Misogynist, bully. These terms, bro, will shut out a majority of people to vote for
This
Trump.
is, and by the way, here's
He can't win,
it'll
bro.
trickle all the way down to the internet.
Yeah.
This is why red pill content creators exist.
There you go. That's it.
Because this culture of misogyny, which is why they're all Trump supporters, because they hate women. And look at how he treated this woman, who is definitely going to be the next president of the United States, according to them. Right? Look at how he treated her. What a piece of shit. This is the alt-right pipeline. You know what I mean? I can hear it all
relate
now.
it to the red pill space. Right now, we debate women sometimes on the truth and reality. You know what happens on the show? We tell them the truth. People see it. These people are bad people. Don't talk to them.
Yep.
Imagine Trump on a bigger scale to a massive audience
it's
of
the same shit.
population.
Yeah.
Bro, you're cooked.
Yeah,
You
you're
can't
done.
really beat her because now you're a bully, and you're a misogynist, and you're racist.
Even if you win, you lose.
You can't. Dude, he's cooked, bro. I'm telling you, he's cooked. I've
Look,
seen all
I think
angles.
we'll see. I mean, like I said before, I'm excited for the debate. I
Me
think
too.
they agreed. Did they agree to 2 or 1?
2.
2, right?
Yeah, I was told 2.
Yeah, dude, definitely come for the one in September. Because I think that people really love to watch me and you analyze it.
Yeah,
especially
that'd be fun.
Since we're debaters ourselves.
I'll do it in person.
Yeah, so that'll be fucking fantastic. Because I covered the debate with Biden and Trump, and people really enjoyed that. So this one will be a good one. Yeah, actually, you guys better fucking watch our ones because we're some of the best debaters on fucking YouTube. We're gonna, you guys better fucking watch it. But that scares me, man, because you guys are saying, because here's the thing, it pisses me off that you guys are saying this, but you guys are kind of correct that we're gonna look at it objectively. Man, he fucking smoked her. This chick didn't fucking actually attack any of his points. You know, she called him a criminal a bunch of times because you best believe she's gonna fucking say that shit. You know, he was able to articulate how she stole a bunch of his ideas, how a lot of these things that she's talking
come
about.
out and say he emotionally raped me.
Yo,
Like
bro.
that
shit like
you know
that,
what I
bro.
mean?
Like,
She'll say that kind of shit.
yeah.
This was emotional rape.
Bro, we cover women topics daily for years. We know how women operate. Bro, it's only a matter of time until it comes out in the limelight. It's just sad, bro. Like, I want Trump to win, but, bro, looking at everything as a whole, I can't even argue with Kamala winning, bro.
Trump, he's yesterday's news.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Yeah.
He was the big thing in a different era of history. That era has passed, and we're in a new era, and he is obsolete. He's like a dinosaur.
And the deep
That's how I see
state
it.
will not allow him to win, bro.
Nah.
They want him dead. Like, is he going to win? No.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing too. She talked about she's going to build 3 million homes. I'm trying to find a tweet where she said this, and like that's just not feasible. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, we already have like a 5 million home shortage, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, right? And this is the problem with a lot of these politicians. They don't know shit. Like they don't understand how real estate works, whatever. She's saying, oh yeah, I'm going to build 3 million homes. Bro, are you really going to build 3 million homes? Because number one, we know the price of lumber and building a home is extremely expensive, and most contractors actually don't want to build single-family homes. They want to focus on building commercial real estate, building big projects because they get paid more for doing that. Why the fuck are they going to waste their time and resources building single-family homes, which don't pay that much when the price of labor and materials has gone up? It's not feasible, right? And then here's the other thing too that she doesn't get: who's buying the single-family homes? I'll tell you who's buying it. It's fucking BlackRock. They're buying all the single fucking family homes. Yeah. Who runs BlackRock? Larry Fink. Where's he from? We know that. Fucking. So it's like, no, you're not going to be able to. She's making these promises that she simply can't fucking adhere to. Oh, I'm going to give you guys $25,000 on buying homes. Guess what's going to happen? The people that sell the homes are all going to raise the prices of the house by $25,000.
But you know what the issue is? Is that she's making these promises that are impossible. Everyone knows they're impossible.
But they sound good.
And they're not even impossible.
They sound good, yeah.
They're not even impossible only, because they're not feasible. They're impossible because she would never go against her actual backers and go against the actual people that fund, her campaign and shit. The Democrats are bought out. We all know that. She's not going to do give all these handouts
the
for free.
The 3 million home thing was the biggest. I was like, bitch, you can't do this.
But look, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You're smart enough to realize that.
But you know what's so disastrous though?
Yeah.
Is how Trump feeds into it by being like, oh yeah, she's actually going to do this. She's a communist. It's really scary. And she's feeding into her like power projection that she's going to have all these sweeping changes that she is not going to do. If Trump would have said like Kamala is corrupt, she's the swamp, she's special interest, whatever. If she like leaned on the crooked aspect, he leaned on the crooked aspect he did with Hillary, and just use that against her, that'd be so much more powerful.
Or incompetence.
It's like,
if he leaned into incompetence, that would have been good.
Oh, it's so scary. Kamala Harris is going to herald all of these sweeping changes because everyone loves the fucking system that exists now. We really just want to preserve it as is. It's like, no, people, even just to see some shit happen, people want some crazy shit to happen.
Yeah. Listen, I think we shouldn't give up on Trump totally. I'm just saying how the world is right now, bro. Looking at it from an objective standpoint, he's going to either lose badly because of the world itself, or
no, he's going to win, but they're going to project him as a bully.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm voting for him, and everybody in here is voting for him.
I'm not voting.
Probably everybody in the not you. But you're communist. But
come on, man.
I never voted in my life. I'll never vote.
The art of war is to understand your opponent and know how they're going to move. Bruh. I don't care about the left at all. I don't care about the Democratic Party. But
and you're in Michigan.
You can't tell
that. Bro, your vote actually matters.
Let me tell you why.
You guys that are in like these states,
listen.
Like your vote matters.
Listen,
your vote definitely matters. This is an electoral college, bro.
I
gotta vote.
I'm the one. Listen, I'm the one who coined and conceptualized the term MAGA communism, right? So I'm not allergic to MAGA and Trump memes and stuff, but on a personal level, there's a reason I can never vote for Trump on a personal level, and why is that? Because to this day, he still brags about killing Soleimani. I can't have that shit slide, man.
Okay, for the audience that are
I can't have that shit
that was
slide.
the head of the IRGC,
Unforgivable.
Iran. He bombed him. He killed him in 2020.
And he still brags about it.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Well, that ended up getting us attacked in Iraq. He shouldn't have done that, but he did it for we know who.
It was so wicked. It was so evil. And, Soleimani was fighting ISIS. He was considered a hero by many, but it was so despicable. Like, it's so dishonorable,
So you'd rather Kamala get in?
No, I don't care. I don't
you just don't care?
I don't care.
Shit, man. I don't know. I look at it like if you're in one of these battleground states, you're in Pennsylvania, you're in Michigan, you're in Arizona, like, bro, you're got because it's an electoral college. So you just got to win 51%, and then you get all the votes of that state.
Here's the thing, right? And I'm just going to be totally honest. I don't give a shit if you blew up some fucking raghead somewhere. I don't give a shit. So I mean, you're going to vote for him anyway. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that my vote makes no difference. That's the thing. It's just like,
Yeah.
am I gonna?
Well, he blew him up for Israel.
But it's
He was
like, look,
Israel's chief
but it's
enemy.
like if it's personal. Like, I'm going to wake up on election day and go vote for someone. Like, why should I do that? I could just stay home. Why should
I understand.
Listen,
I understand.
Why
that
should I
perspective.
pretend like I actually
Listen,
make a difference?
all
when
this
I
No,
talk-
don't?
you do. Here's the thing. You're in a state that you actually do.
Hold on. All this voting talk, bro.
Yeah.
You know the reality of this scenario here? We could all vote for Trump today, all of us. If they want him not to win, he won't win.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, bro.
Our vote doesn't even
I wish
matter.
politics was as simple as,
Doesn't
vote
even
for who you
matter.
want to. Bro, it's behind the scenes
I
politics.
still think if you're from certain places, your vote matters more. But
I
Michigan, your vote matters,
Bro, it's all fucked up, bro.
100%.
It's all fucked
Why
up.
do you think? If you look at their campaign trails, where are they spending most of their time in? They're spending time the most Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. Why was the DNC in Milwaukee?
Okay, a little bit conspiracy here.
There ain't nothing in Milwaukee. Fuck, it sucks. By the way,
They meet before these elections happen.
DNC
and
was in
vote
Chicago.
for who's going to win presidency before it even happens. That's what I believe.
Guys, I can't believe I'll sound so crazy, but it's like, what if Trump is just a clone? You ever thought of that?
All right, nigga, it's a little bit late. You might be tired,
Need
bro.
a cup of coffee, bro?
Yeah, we don't know, but how do I know? I don't know.
And then I think I said. Yeah, and then last one here, guys. And I want to get your guys' takes on this, and then we'll close it out. So obviously, as you guys know, our boy Andrew Tate was arrested last week. Which I find it interesting because days after Candace Owens had a Twitter space about a certain topic, they went ahead and had him arrested. And then obviously he got like 33 charges. Or no, was it 33? No, allegedly 30 plus women came forward saying that they're new victims in this case.
And two are his baby mamas, I believe.
And two of them are baby mamas, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that the mother of his children are victims in this human trafficking scheme, and they can't see their kids now because of it.
Listen, this is the issue when you are a free speech absolutist and you believe everything is okay. The problem is, bro, the powers that be don't want that shit out there. And as a result, you become a target and you become a isolation of pure punishment as an example of heretics and people that don't follow the agenda. What Tate did, I believe, was great for men. The influence he had was impactful. The most Googled man in the world. Crazy exposure.
2022, yeah.
The problem is when you become a figurehead of free speech and the truth, you become a target of the establishment. And we all know what happens at that point.
Yeah, and Take has kids, guys. For some of you guys that are wondering, yes, they have multiple kids, both of them.
They ruin your reputation. They kill your desire to make money because you can't make any money, or they kill you or put you in jail. Is it either one of these four scenarios? And what do you do at that point? Do you fight back the establishment? How? They're not even on camera. They're behind the scenes. They're in some mansion or castle in, I don't know, Sweden or something like that. Who knows? But they're not even seen on camera. How do you fight back? It's government. Can you?
Yeah.
There are ways to do so, but it takes your whole life. Essentially, when you're in a position like Tate, right, you're a martyr at that point.
Yeah.
He's not, and that's how, unfortunately, I think his story ends. Is he's going to be fighting for the rest of his life, long after people have forgotten what he's even fighting with them about. You know what I mean? And then I think he even knows that.
He knows that.
I think he even knows that. So
Yeah, I mean, he even said it when we went and did the pod with him. He
Don't be a
literally
martyr.
says, I'm going to jail. Like, send me to jail.
But he's very clear. He said, don't be a martyr. Remember he said that, right? Don't be a martyr.
I remember he said that's Sneeko. Yeah.
yeah, don't be a martyr, but I think he's going to end up a martyr. Bro.
He said it's a Sneeko because they were already starting this bullshit on him before.
And I get the complaint, fresh or a coward. Listen, motherfuckers. You have to understand, right, bro, like, this life that we live right now, bro, is built off of agendas and being smart. if you move dumb, you're gonna fucking die and end up in a fucking box. Listen, motherfucker, I got shit going on behind the scenes. I got family to take care of. I'm moving smart because I know what's happening in the real world and what the Bible says. Now, granted, though, I could be a free speech absolutist as well, or a martyr myself. But nah, he can do that shit. Go ahead, Myron.
All right,
a martyr, bro.
I will. That's okay. Well, let's go to the tweet real quick. It goes, and this is from our boy Joel Sullivan, the Sartorial shooter. A new level of ridiculous from Tate prosecutor. Buying mates' cars equals hiding money from trafficking in 23 and 24 while it's under judicial control. As you guys know, well, some of you guys don't know this. So what ended up happening is the Tate brothers bought their fitness guy, Tristan's trainer that helps him with his shoulder.
Yeah,
and they bought one of their other guys. They bought him cars as gifts, and they're trying to say that they were hiding money from trafficking. This was money laundering, while they were having the house arrest in 2023, as you guys know.
So let me get this straight.
What the fuck?
I buy my friend a car, and
money laundering, bro.
now I'm
hiding money
from the government.
Yeah. The U.S. defamation case, intimidating acts. The woman lied and said she was kidnapped. That's defamatory. Yeah, man. I mean, and then this, I think, comes from the Dicot case. In order to hide and dissimulate the illicit origin of the money resulting from the commission of the crime of human trafficking between December 2023 and July 2024, the two defendants purchased and registered 4 luxury cars in the names of close people. At the same time, in an attempt to prevent the discovery of the truth, they took actions of clearly intimidating nature and acts of corruption on some injured persons and witnesses in order to induce them not to give statements or give false statements in this file.
Well, first of all, I don't understand what those have to do with each other exactly. But also, on the first point, how would that be hiding? How would that be hiding the money?
Bro.
Wouldn't that be like, I couldn't think of a better way.
Because they bought the cars and they put it on the internet like, hey, look,
yeah, I couldn't think of a better way to not be hiding money than to be like, oh, hey, look at this new Lamborghini.
And I post it.
That's like driving your money around for everybody to see.
Yeah.
This sounds like the opposite of laundering.
People that do bad stuff, Myron, they lay low. They don't post anything. They keep it like private, if at all. They're posting online.
I think Dicot is just running out of steam, and they're like, we need to put another case on these guys because I think the other one was weak, and they were like, yeah, we need to do something. Because I don't think people understand this, right? Like when the Tates got arrested in the end of 2022, it was, if I'm not mistaken, in December. I don't think Dicot and the Romanian government knew that it was going to get that much media press. And when they realized, holy shit, this got a lot. This is worldwide news, and they're covering it. Like, yo, there's like Twitter accounts and like YouTube accounts literally dedicated to just covering Tate coverage, right? Like these dudes made a whole platform off of talking about Tate's arrest, right? When they did this, I don't think they knew that it was going to reach this worldwide level of reach. Now, guess what? Now they have to see it through. Versus, because just so you guys know, Romania is an extremely corrupt country. This is not a place. This is a place that's very known for police ripping you off, taking the money. Hey, you bribe, whatever the fuck it may be. They thought maybe we could get a quick payday, take some watches, take some cash, etc., because they seize all this stuff and be able to keep it moving. No, they can't. Now they actually have to bring this to fruition and put these guys in jail to some degree with evidence, and they haven't been able to do that. So they're like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make another case, bite ourselves some more times, because the Romania criminal justice system is they arrest you and then they investigate. They give you preventative detention, and that's what they do. So, like, they do the case after you're arrested. There's no probable cause or any of this due process that we enjoy in the United States and in Western countries. So, I think it's very important for everybody to understand that it's the other way around, and I don't think the Romanian authorities knew that this was going to get this much press.
If any of you were in Andrew's position, what would you do?
Me?
What would you do?
You know, I this is something I haven't really been keeping up with at all. I don't really know about the case. I don't know what's going on. I haven't really looked into it. But it just seems like he's going to jail and there's nothing to do about it, right? Or am I missing? That's what it seems like hearing you guys talk about it. Like he's just going to prison. There's nothing to be done.
I think at this point, he's been a target of a lot of people's envy and I want to say.
No, I mean, I know who he is, but like, is this case going to actually put him away?
We don't know.
We don't know.
I think that
it seems like he's in a totally powerless position.
He is.
What can he do?
But, he can fight, and that's what he's doing.
In the courts, right?
Yeah, so I mean, what would you do in his position? The only thing you can do is fight. The only thing you can do is fight or cut a deal. But they probably see so much of this guy's assets. I don't think he has the sort of net worth he used to have fighting all of this. I don't even know if you could bribe somebody. What would you bribe them with? You need at least.
At this point, Romania is it's to because this country wasn't on the map before this shit.
I don't even think it's Romania, bro. I think it's other people involved.
Oh,
in this
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like, not just Romania. I think it's
United
above
Kingdom,
Romania.
United Kingdom, and the United States definitely have a play in this.
You
Like
can't bribe them.
it's the UK that has the biggest hard on for them by far.
Yeah.
The UK, I think, was the main country responsible for the censorship, for the complaining, and like trying to get him because he was influencing the British kids.
And again, believe all women. Oh, he must be this because they said so. So you got the population believing these, indictments, all this stuff, and as well, the people themselves. It's almost like if you can't win in this scenario. How do you win?
Well, it's an information war, is what it ends up turning out to be. People have like looked at the cases and they're like, "This is kind of fucking weird," you know.
Has he retained his popularity? And I know he got banned off TikTok. That probably really.
No, every year
They
that
ban him
passes,
everywhere.
he's hurt worse than the year before, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ban him everywhere.
He's mainly on X now, right?
X and Rumble.
X and Rumble.
X and
Isn't it
Rumble.
crazy? Tate News, this Tate media outlet on X, turned against him, bro. You saw that shit?
What?
They're
happened?
posting bad about him the moment this next indictment came up or this next case came up.
Well, these people
That's
act in
crazy,
their
bro.
self-interest, man. It's anything for clicks, man. It's weird.
He posted, "I'm not a Tate stan. I just post about Tate News." That's cap, bro. You posting positive Tate stuff
That's what
in
I'm
the
trying to
past.
say. Yeah. That's what
I'm
I'm
like,
trying
bro,
to
you
say.
just switch on a nigga like that.
That's-
Like, bro, what the fuck?
That's social media for you. That's literally social media for you. But yeah, man. So yeah, it's just fine. Like they're grasping at straws. Like the fact that they're saying that, oh yeah, they bought their friends' cars, and this is money laundering to hide the proceeds. It's like, bro, okay, man. All right. What else we got here? Chats, and then we'll close out. And then tune in tomorrow, guys. We're gonna have the lovely ladies here with Haas and with Andrew,
And then Dan Bilzerian.
and then Dan Bilzerian interview will come out during the day.
Well, Haas may not be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I could if
Yeah.
it's not the debate, I could probably show up.
It's for the it's with the girls.
Yeah, I don't have to be.
Yeah, it's whatever you want.
sharp.
Yeah, you don't have to shit on them if you don't want to.
I'll bring you
I
some
mean, I
booties.
don't have to be cognitively
Nah, it's
sharp.
gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll bring some booties, bro.
Yeah, Thursday will be the debate. Did you guys? Which tune in for that? Did you guys see the chart that says majority of women voters care more about abortion policies and rights rather than the actual fucking economy and other important aspects of
Yeah.
the bill tonight? Yeah,
Yes.
bro, I literally said this.
See?
Like most of them are single issue voters where like abortion is the top of the priority, and they will go ahead and put someone in office that will destroy the economy for reproductive rights. That's how important it is.
I remember there was a YouTuber or TikToker that went around asking girls, "Who would you vote for?" And the response was insane, bro. And he mentioned as well one question about the economy and then one question about abortion.
And if you ask them, like they'll say, "Oh, I'm not voting Trump," and you'll ask them, "Well, what do you dislike about Trump?" They can't articulate
They
to
don't
you
know.
why.
It's because he's a bad person.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. He's a bad person. He needs to be in jail.
Orange man bad.
I'm like, bro, like,
The chief reminder, did you hear about Foo Fighters endorsing Kamala Harris? The Trump campaign licensed My Hero when Trump brought out RFK. Yeah, I did hear about that. Dave Grohl claims they didn't get permission, but the facts say, what? Go back. The facts say what?
the facts say otherwise.
Otherwise, Foo Fighters, yeah, fuck the Foo Fighters for that, bro. Bro, that's the problem with these musicians and celebrities, bro. I've lost so much respect for a lot of these guys because, like, they're all fucking left-wing, like, pussies, man. Like, they're all, like, social justice warriors. This is why you can't trust a lot of these social media influencers,
You know
man.
what I found out, though, about
Fucking
the music
pussies.
industry? If you want to go ahead and speak against the establishment or what's going on in the background, you're done for.
That's why they're not political. And if they are,
Yeah.
it's always
To the left.
Always, bro.
Yeah.
Almost always. The chief here, or it'll be people that aren't relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Kid Rock performed at the RNC, bro. Who listens to Kid Rock, bro?
Nobody.
I've never met anyone that says they're a
It's
Kid
cool
Rock
with Trump,
fan.
that's
Sorry,
all.
bro. Yeah. And then Hulk Hogan was there. Come on, man. Hulk Hogan. Come on. I love wrestling, but it's like, and he's a legend, but like, bro, you know, I'm a real American. Like, is it the 1980s?
Nah.
Come on, man.
It's sad, bro.
Yeah. United States government mistakenly just transferred $239 million to the Taliban. Wait, what?
Mistakenly.
Okay. It's a shame what Romania is doing to the Tates. All the evidence vindicates them. With that being said, they have to fight it out until Trump becomes president and have them cut a deal with the EU. We'll see. Flying Raptor. That's it. Cool. Guys, where can they find you guys?
Infrahaz on X.
X.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can find me on The Crucible and thecrucible.video. You become a member over there for the back catalog. All the great debates and all the great shows that we do on The Crucible. And we'd love to have you over there as a member.
We have two more here.
Last two here. And
Daniel.
then, y'all think there will be a terrorist attack before the election? How do y'all think they'll cheat? Cyber attack? I don't think there'll be a terrorist
I
attack.
don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know.
And then, Haas, please go on After Hours. Been watching for years. It would be hilarious to see you in there. Zerka Royals made you go on this. Do a stream with the triad, Infrared, Jackson, and Zerka, okay? Y'all think there will be? No, we got that one before. And then word from sponsor or no?
I think we're good.
Yeah, sure.
I
All
think we're
right,
good.
guys, we're gonna close out. Tomorrow night we're gonna have some lovely ladies on, probably around 10 p.m. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
9:30, 10 p.m. After hours, and then we'll drop the Dan Bilzerian interview probably around 7:38ish. It's pre-recorded, so we'll drop it for you guys on YouTube. Full version will be on Rumble. And guys, join Cast Club, man. CastClub.tv, man. And also make sure to check out Andrew and Haas. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.